Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Emberwind, Into Axion Beyond, the Streets of Adriel, whatever you want to call this campaign. And like a mid-season television show, we are coming to you live from our new night and new time. Due to some group dynamics, where I'm moving now to Mondays at, let's see, 6 p.m. Central Time. You guys can do the math as to what time that is in various time zones. For Sod, it's still like, I think, early in the morning, I believe. Aren't you like 8 in the morning or something, Sod?
Yeah, 9:20 in the morning. So it's 9 in the morning now from
sort
10
of
in the morning.
In,
yeah,
kind of.
Well, I'm an evening person, so I work in the evenings and nights.
I'm joined by Marie Baliodo, Jen Brozek, and Sod. Brahms unfortunately could not make it for this session, but we hope to have him back soon. Let me give a brief update as to what happened last time when the Ember crew ended up in the clink, as they were arrested for the potential charge of either possessing or transporting or having stolen property, which turned out to be a ruse by the Military Order of Adriel in order to have basically a little chat with them, which we did very interestingly last time when I was talking to each player one at a time. That I think went really well. And they found out that the Military Order wanted to speak with the group, but not let the chasers know that they wanted to speak to them. So arresting them outside of Maddox's house was the most public way to ensure that the conversations remained, shall we say, private. And then, of course, conversations were had, information was exchanged, things were found out. Malma now knows where her ship, or who bailed her ship out of the impound. Let's see. Savoy also had an interesting conversation with Admiral Rhea about certain aspects of what the group has been doing recently, and then Laureate also had an interesting conversation with Rhea about what the group's been doing recently. So without further ado, I know that after they were released from the Military Order headquarters and headed back to the Veneer household, I believe there was going to be some sort of story time that was going to be happening at some point. So I will turn it over to the players and take it away.
Don't forget to play music, John. We need some music.
Oh yeah, I'm still choosing. I'm not sure what I want to play for you.
Storage time.
I think I'll do this one. There we go. Oh, play. There we go. This seems like a good backdrop story for someone to spin their tale of. I don't know if it's woe or not. We'll find out.
Oh no.
You're going to be in Savoy's sitting room, so it's going to be a little bit more intimate and private. So we're not like sitting in the dining room where anybody can walk in.
Indeed.
There will be food and drink, but not a lot. Considering we, like an hour and a half ago, just had dinner with Maddox.
Wow, that whole conversations and everything, it took a good couple hours, 2-3 hours, and
okay.
Yeah.
The stress of it might make certain people a little hungrier than normal. I'm just saying.
That's okay. That they can wheel a cart in.
Yeah. Refreshment will be provided. So, including drink if those who would wish to imbibe.
There should be drink. There should be drink.
I think this is the kind of conversation that needs a drink. The other thing that happened was apparently there is a ball in 3 days that my sister and I have invited to. Now the question is, was Laureate, Alvarez, and Malma invited? And if not, how do I make them part of my retinue? Because they are totally going too.
You pretty much just say they're part of your retinue as a minor noble. You have the ability to do that. It was these kind of things are always fairly flexible, so it's not. No one's really going to. They may, I don't know, like give you a raised eyebrow if you bring more people, but no one's going to really. Everyone knows there's servants and pages and bodyguards and this, that, and the other. So it's adding 1 or 2 or 3 more people should not be a big deal.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
Especially since we're also heroes of Galspire, and this is supposed to be about celebrating the rescue of Galspire.
Yep, exactly.
I also feel that Malma is starting to be known as quite the good storyteller at social events, and so everybody would want to clamor to have her at any party.
Of course.
Well, there you go. Exactly.
Plus, you're my bodyguard anyway, so you gotta go.
Got your back.
All right. I will briefly let you guys know that that's happening and that we will prepare over the next couple of days. But first,
you see Laureate kind of like just trying to ignore you all and just keep drinking.
no, you're the one who said that you would tell us. So,
for me to explain this story, I have to show you a picture.
A picture.
Yeah. It's more about those people and not me, in a way. The only problem is I have to take you to it.
To the picture.
Ooh,
Where?
exciting.
That would be over at where I'm staying. You're right, it's coming to Charity's Dawn, which is an area of Adriel.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Savoy, you've heard of the area? It's it's middle class. I mean, there's nothing. It's one of just kind of the standard middle class neighborhoods around the city, usually, and
Is this
definitely.
something I can take the carriage to?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, and then that's what we're doing because I don't want to get set upon by the grinders people in the middle of
Oh, the music
all
stopped.
this stuff.
Yo, did I have it on repeat? I think I might not have had it on repeat. I think that's. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Hold on. I got it. You do your thing. Okay. There we go. Okay, problem solved.
I would prefer to walk, but if we're going to take the carriage, I guess we can take it.
Every time we walk, we tend to get distracted.
Yeah, I would love a distraction right now from telling
We're
the
not
story.
going to- No.
You have to understand is that if I tell you this story, there is a rule. You're actually not allowed to tell anyone this. The information about what happened there is technically still a secret, both for the military academy and the council. I know you've heard stories about what happened 10 years ago, but it's all been intentionally been withheld from the general population.
All right.
I think it's mainly because the council and the academy and the military order just don't want to deal with any kind of backlash of the failure that is the Silverglades.
Well, as you know, I love spinning a good tale, but I also love to keep a good secret when necessary, so lead on, good friend.
Oh boy. Alright, so we're in the carriage now.
By magic
Jesus, this is gonna start. Okay, how about I tell you the actual before we get into actually what happened, I can give you a quick rundown of how the Silverglades came to be.
Okay.
How the Silverglades was attached to Adriel. If you would you like to hear that, or are you happy just to ignore all that? I don't know if some of you may
If
be
you
interested
believe it
in that.
has bearing on what you need to tell us, then tell us.
It doesn't have much bearing, but it shows you just how much of a problem the Silverglades has actually been for Adriel. But it you definitely notice every time Laureate tries to explain it, she is trying to think very carefully what she's supposed to say, and what she's trying to say, because it's definitely bringing back memories, and you can tell like she definitely has like a different tone of voice and a different manner of speech, like when recalling all of this. I mean, would there be any checks needed to get deeper into when I'm explaining all this, John?
Checks as in how? I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Because I would probably be withholding certain information.
We can already tell that you're going to be holding information.
Yeah.
I
don't
know,
think it's
I already
surprise to anyone here.
But there may be like some more that.
The main question is, if you're going to deliberately try to lie to us, I am watching for that.
Me too.
So, I guess Sod, let me know in chat privately about that if there's a issue there. So
Okay.
that's gonna be the easy way to do it, I think.
Yeah. All right. I'll get chat ready.
And we'll
Zoom-
try to
Zoom chat's fine.
Zoom chat, and we'll try to keep the mustache trolling to a minimum.
Yeah.
All right, there. Okay.
Okay. So Silverglades. This is going back 27 years now. There was an expedition that was exploring some of the unknown skies around Axia, and they noticed the miasma was still present even that far away from Adriel, and they noticed that there was a strange area that the mist wasn't the same, so there wasn't the same miasma, and upon further inspection, they realized that that's actually land, and it wasn't just like a really high mountain like Summit, for example. It was actually a full-on floating island, and this entire island was shrouded in a very strange mist, as you could probably tell from when we were going past the Silverglades earlier. So this was reported to council, to the academy, to the military order, all the higher ups, and like land like this is absolutely valuable, and the amount of resources that are available, I mean, like, could set Adriel for centuries, or even decades, or even centuries. Who knows what was on that island? So they sent in people to colonize it, annex it. From what I understand, it was about 50 or so people, and none of them were ever seen again. This was about 27 years ago, so you can see it's gonna only get worse from here. So then they sent in, after getting no word from these people, they sent in the military order to investigate, and all the military order people that went into the Silverglades also didn't return.
Okay.
None of them, not a single one. And this caused a bit of a problem with the higher ups, and they decided if they couldn't colonize it, perhaps if they could bring it to Adriel itself, they could possibly be able to deal with the problem that way, and also it would also reduce the fact of needing airships to travel to and from it due to its distance away. So
Can I this is Jen asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a normal thing to move land to
This
a
is.
place?
Are there any other floating lands that have ever been reported? Probably not.
Well, you guys know of the floating mountain of Summit, for
that's right.
example.
Summit is floating. Okay, I thought it wasn't floating.
Oh yeah, there's no
There are floating
landmass
attached to anything else right now.
Yeah.
Because my character is definitely alive during this period of time, so
Yeah.
I'm like, is this something I would have heard of?
Honestly.
Oh yeah, I mean, but you knew what the public knew, not anything about. Basically, that the Silverglades, they found a landmass. It did take years to tow it, etc., but you really didn't. I mean, you paid attention to it was in like the Adriel Gazette or whatever. That's
so
really
they had
paid attention to,
So they had to develop everything from airship technology to grapple technology in order to tow a giant landmass from one area to another, and that took a good just under a decade in order to achieve. So we now have Silverglades attached to Adriel by a series of chains and lifts, and now we go to about 16 years ago. They once again tried to colonize it. They send in more people. Once again, no one came back. No one was ever seen of again. That makes the over 100 people have now by this time gone to the Silverglades, and none of them have returned. And now there are rumors starting to stir around the Silverglades. People saying it's cursed, yada yada. It's just nothing but superstition. And then you'd see a lot of people claiming to have come from the Silverglades and returned, and they've seen strange monsters, and it just became a interesting. Like I was very young then, so all the stories I heard were pretty scary, but interesting. Anyway, this is where let's go to 10 years ago now. So this is the Academy, the council couldn't figure out what to do, so they tasked the Academy to solve the mystery of the Silverglades. And so the Academy created a team to explore the Silverglades, and also try and figure out what the hell's going on. And I was part of that team. In fact, I kind of intentionally pressured someone to put me on this team.
Why?
And this is so to gain status in the Academy, you need to do various tasks and complete projects. And while I was considered already one of the a graduate of the Academy, due to my age at that time, they didn't want to really graduate someone as young as me. So if I could have succeeded this task, perhaps that would have eventually finally given me they would have given me a graduate position.
All right.
And before I continue this on, we've got to see this image, this picture. So if you mind waiting for a bit, assume the carriage will be there in a bit.
I mean, it takes some time to get from where the Veneer household is to Charity's Dawn. But yeah, your story took up a good deal of it, so it's like less than 10 minutes later you pull up to where you're normally staying. That's correct.
Yeah, so you see so we go towards the tavern. So you see a large, like a 2-story tavern. On the front of it, there is it's a symbol of a belt, just in kind of like a silvery paint.
Is this where I met Laureate?
No.
Okay.
You've never, this area, you've never been to this place before. Okay. And there's a sign that says Traveler's Belt. And you can do a knowledge check if you want to find out more about this, if you recall anything about it. I'd say, would Malma probably wouldn't know much about this issue. Malma, yeah, I'd almost probably give you disadvantage just because you don't know the area. So, but regular check is fine. There you go.
Look at you.
Hey, it's the first time I rolled all evening that actually.
It's like score.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. So the Traveler's Belt is actually a constellation in the night sky known as a part of the constellation in the night sky known as the Silver Traveler. It's essentially a star that actually Mama would have advantage.
I was saying actually for the navigation part.
Yeah, she would know it for the navigation. It is a constellation in the sky that always points north. So it's a very well known for travelers, but for airship pilots. But for locals, it may not be as well known.
There must be like stories about it because with my bardic background.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I kind of lead you inside, and it's a fairly busy tavern. I'd say it can fit a good 50 or so people in it, and right now I'd say there's a couple there. There's probably about 20 or so. You probably would immediately notice as soon as you look around, there's a really cool looking object in the center of the tavern that is emitting light and showing a constellation of stars on the ceiling. It's kind of like a thematic thing, part of the bar, or part of the tavern. And you head over to Laureate, leads you over to the bar itself, and at the rear of the bar you see a picture, and in that picture there are 5 people. One of them is Laureate, but much younger than she looks now, and she's wearing attire which you would probably know as the Academy's attire, which is like a green and black with gold and white trims, the Academy symbol on it. And all the other people in the picture are wearing this attire. And in that picture, there are, let me count them. There's 5 people. What's the list again? So there's Laureate and 2 other females and 2 males. All much older than Laureate.
I take a very close look at the picture, or as close as I can.
Oh, okay, good question. So roll a insight for me. No, not insight. Would be no. Oh, actually, would it be insight or knowledge?
Focus. It'd be a focus check.
Focus check.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
I'd rather have insight.
Well, we all want something.
I would have known it. No, I mean, I look at it's if it's behind the bar, I can't get as close as I want.
You're allowed to. No problems.
Who do you think? Let's see. This was. I'm trying to think of what time of day it was. You guys went to. Was it lunch or dinner at Maddox's place?
Lunch.
Yeah. So it's
afternoon
now
was taken up by. It's probably early evening. So.
Yeah. So all the workers are coming in now. So it's starting to slowly fill up.
Right.
I'm keeping an eye on people coming in and not worrying so much about the picture because Savoy's looking at it, and I'm not sure who's gonna show up here, but we've made some enemies.
Yeah. So the background of this picture is what?
It just seems to be part of some wooden structure. However, the detail in this picture is extremely detailed. I mean, it's probably the most detailed thing you've ever seen.
Is it lifelike or is it clearly a painting?
With that focus roll, should we?
I didn't make the focus. I made the insight.
Yeah, I'd say with that focus roll, you can't really ascertain it because. Would she get advantage because she's like knowledgeable at this type of stuff? Maybe.
Well, let me try to figure this out. Hold on a second. So, okay.
She might know about paints and stuff. So.
Well, it wouldn't probably be. I mean, I'm gonna fudge this a little bit and say that in Axion technology there are ways to take. You guys have a rudimentary. It's a metal plate, and the image is on there, and the Academy's figured out a way to kind of take certain. It takes time. You can't do it on the run. It's not like. There's no action shots. You're in the Civil War photography era. Let's put it that way.
Types and such, yes. Okay.
Daguerreotype, yeah, exactly. Daguerreotypes, that kind of thing, where hold still for a couple minutes and then we'll get the image. That kind of thing. There's no action photography here, but this kind of photo is perfect for this kind of thing. Exactly.
Yeah. However, this type of technology is only available to the Council and the Academy. It's no one outside of.
Right.
So you have never seen such a detailed picture like this, and it's not hand drawn, hand painted, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, well, that works.
the people in the picture are all like smiling and goofing about a bit. All seem
Okay.
to be quite happy. And
It's the beginning of an adventure.
so the laureate points to the oldest male on the probably on the left side and said, "This is Administrator Priven. He was the head leader of the expedition, and also he ran the department that the newly created department that I was a part of."
Right.
And that there, and points to the older female out of the two, or out of the three, including Gloriat. That was his wife, Katha, also a scientist in the academy. And you see Laureate kind of like turn and look at look at the bar, not the bar, look at the tavern, see if she's trying to spot someone. And
Yeah, she actually looks to see as if anyone is listening besides your small group.
I'll keep an eye out, Laureate.
I was actually looking for someone. See if Valerie's
Do you want me to
here.
get someone for you?
No, she's probably busy.
Fine.
So she points to the younger male, says that's Aaron. He was also a part of the expedition, and in fact, Aaron's parents run this tavern. You probably noticed he points to the barmaid, the barmaid, she's barwoman, maid, whatever. Older women, male and female, and the chef, husband and wife, they run the tavern. And then points to the other female, the younger female. That's Weiss. She was an expert in biology and flora and fauna. She was considered one of the best in the academy. And that was the team. And as you can see, I'm the only one left. And everyone who works at this tavern is related to these people.
Did you want us to meet them too?
I don't think it's necessary. They're busy anyway, dealing with the tavern. It's starting to get to peak soon.
Is there
I feel like
anything
you're
else you
leaving
want
out.
us- What?
I said I feel like you're leaving out important details there, Laureate.
Is there any questions you're ready? Because I'm happy to answer any.
You survived. Nobody else did.
We're not at that point in the story.
All
And that
right.
is the story here in public. Am I correct, Laureate?
Yeah, let's not talk about that right now.
Is there anything else here that you would like us to see?
No, I just want you to keep these people in your mind, because this is more about them.
I see them very well.
All
Let's
right.
go back.
So I get us some drinks. This is
Oh no, we're gonna drink here. We're gonna have this
just some
conversation here.
just some cheap drinks, and I lead you out the back to a little courtyard that leads to another building next door.
Okay.
And Laureate just goes, this is my house. This is where I stay. It's small. It's a very small, narrow house. It's got a kind of like a basic living area and a couple bookcases, and there's like a back door that goes to some other room. And it's almost like a studio, like in modern times. But back then, it's very, very cramped and narrow. And let's see. So you will notice immediately from a quick look around is that you see another one of those pictures, but a smaller version, and it's a little bit different. Like it was taken a little bit later in the time. So, and Laureate has one of those just on the bookshelf.
I'll go take a look at that too.
Yeah. So the bookshelf itself has a lot of just general knowledge books. All of them have, some of them have some handwriting. There's like a few books on the table opened up and there's some writing in them. Some scribbled notes.
Is the picture exactly the same, or is
it's not exactly the same? It's a little bit different.
All right.
So it's like they took 2 photos at different periods.
Okay.
But this one was on a much smaller platter than the one in the bar. And so I sit down. Laureate kind of motions you all to sit down, even though it's a bit narrow and crooked here. And so Laureate, yeah, so you see me open see me go into a back room, and you hear what sounds like an opening of a chest, and I pull out the attire that I used that looks very similar to what I wore in the photos, except it is completely covered in blood.
Oh wow.
So
Well, dried blood, but
dried blood. Yeah. So the blood was coagulated. It's all blackened. I mean, you would all have knowledge of it. Just
So it's a
blood.
dark brown against the green. So yeah, it's
Right.
Yeah, it gives off a bit of a smell as well. It's like intentionally.
Yeah.
alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. This is where we get to it. So I just take a huge swig of drink. Like, you see her pause for a long time to figure out how to say this. And so we were tasked with going in, and we went in. First few days, everything seemed fine. Had to cut through a lot of brush. It was very untamed. There was no signs of anyone else who came through. No sound of any creatures, nothing. It was dead quiet. It was just nothing but the trees. Then about 4 days in, things started acting strange. I suddenly started feeling like the forest was trying to encase me.
What things were acting strange?
This is where things get, I can't even explain properly. Everyone in the expedition group started to act weird. Few of them were acting very, very oddly, especially Cathal. Cathal, she started to just mutter to herself a lot. And
Claustrophobic.
the only one that seemed to be kind of sane, at least, was Priven, but honestly, I don't know. Everyone was acting very strange. Something about that forest. And we continued on, though. We made a few interesting discoveries, which would I be allowed to tell you?
We have already given
Gotta
our
be
word.
very careful what I say here.
We've been looking out for each other. Maybe we should continue that trend.
All right. I tell you this, you cannot. I really mean you cannot tell anyone. If this information gets out, could cause a problem.
You have my word.
And mine.
Saad, make an insight roll before you go on.
Okay.
I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah.
So little
Because
insight.
my rolls are just perfect.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
All right, well. Okay, so this is kind of a problem. Because you've been concentrating so hard. Basically, it's like one moment you're talking to Savoy and Mama. And the next moment you blink your eyes, and when you open them again, because you've been thinking so hard and concentrating so hard on telling the story and reliving this, you find yourself back in the Silverglades. And you are dressed in your outfit, you are dressed in your uniform, your academy uniform, which is of course a little bit dirtier because you've now been in the, well, actually you're probably not dressed in the uniform, you're dressed in like more traveling clothes.
Yeah, it's like an academy designed and like
exactly. I don't want to call it a Starfleet uniform, but it's academy uniform for
traveling,
like these.
For expeditions and stuff.
And all around you are the members of the group, but of course they're not alive. They are all dead, and as you look around, you see the bodies of Priven and his wife, the other member who was caught in the trees, basically. And you're just standing there, and when you look down again, your uniform is also covered in blood. And you can hear something from the Silverglades, the forest itself. And that was something that sometimes even haunts your dreams to this day. And it's just this low susurrus, this low noise that you could swear something in there is trying to tell you something, but just no matter how hard you listen, you can never, ever, ever make it out. But if you could just listen hard enough, if you could somehow figure out how to tap into that noise, it's sound, you think it's maybe some kind of language, but you could never, it's always on the edge of your hearing and you could never quite capture it. But you have a feeling somehow that that's the secret. That if you could somehow figure that out, what that is, that might unlock the secret of the Silverglades. But it didn't work. Your party died, and you were the last one. And if you look down in your hand, you're clutching that crystal shard. And then you blink again, and you're back in the house with Mama, with Savoy.
Do they notice
Mama
that
and Savoy, Mama
yeah.
and Savoy, I want you to make an insight check. Both of you make an insight check, please.
Sure.
Well, I made it.
Yep.
I'm not feeling it. There's other shit to look
Okay.
around.
Savoy, you noticed that while Laureate was drinking and kind of stealing herself, that a change kind of came over her for just a couple of moments, as if she looked away.
Like her
and then
facial
looked back
expressions
at
would
you.
change completely.
Yeah, and it's a moment of stark, I would say, terror. Is that probably correct, Saad?
definitely terror.
Yeah, but it was like just for a moment or two, and then she's kind of back. I don't know, Saad, if Laureate would have a physical reaction to that or not.
Laureate would just kind of like shake her head and blink. Like just suddenly stopped in the middle of explaining everything and did this. So where were we?
Yeah, almost as she got a little
One
bit
of our
lost
party,
in telling it.
one of our group vanished. Weiss. We don't know what happened. We woke up. Weiss was gone. We were able to track her down, but we found her hanging from a tree, completely. Her body was contorted in ways you wouldn't imagine. Dead. Blood everywhere, just draping down the tree.
And no sign of what had done it?
We didn't hear a thing, didn't see a thing. Don't know what happened. Anyway, so we discovered that every tree just about every tree, I can't really confirm it unless I have more time there, but a large amount of the trees actually had embedded in them hearth crystals.
Embedded?
Mm-hmm.
As in grown there, or placed?
I don't know. I had to make a quick hypothesis. I hate that word. I believe that those crystals were somehow generating the mist. Don't know how, but it was only a rough idea.
The mist, not the miasma.
No, it wasn't miasma.
Okay.
If that was miasma, we would have died instantly. However, one of the things about the Silverglades is you must understand is that the miasma didn't affect the Silverglades at all. This mist seems to be protecting it.
Well, it follows that if the crystals drive away the mist and the crystals are in the trees and create the mist somehow or affect the mist.
That was the running theory after a few days. But so what we did is we collected up, we pried out many of these crystal shards and tried to merge them together to create a hearth crystal. We figured that perhaps if we can somehow control this mist using these crystals, it may help us either continue the expedition or just get out. There was a lot of arguing between Aaron and Priven. Catho was still mumbling away, acting strange, and I felt this entire sense of dread for a few days, and so I persuaded Priven to let me do this experiment. And it was, thinking on it now, it was the wrong thing to do. I don't know what I was thinking. Something about that mist, I think. Anyway, so
Todd, give me another insight roll, please.
Crap. Hey.
Okay, all right. For a second, just a mere second, you flash back to when you were just about to activate the assembled Silverglades hearth crystal, but with an effort, you managed to not fall into the flashback, and you kind of restrain yourself and steel yourself and continue on with your story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done by now, I would have put my drink down so that if something happens to Laureate, like, I don't know, I've already seen her go into one of these PTSD type flashbacks. If it gets really bad, I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
This one you wouldn't. I didn't even ask for a check because you wouldn't see anything happening, basically. So, but,
True.
Yeah.
But by now,
All
I would have put in my drink because there's no way I was gonna drink it.
Okay.
It's cheap.
So we created the crystal.
Mama grabs hers.
Yeah.
I probably would have just handed it to Mama.
Oh.
So we brought all the crystals together, tried to merge them, and that's where everything went up in smoke. Or crystal exploded. I was able to react quick enough to protect myself. However, you can see like there's like various holes throughout the like shards. It seems to be like shrapnel wounds, shrapnel markings on the clothing. I was able to protect most of myself from it. I did sustain some damage, but when I came to, everyone else around me was dead or dying. There was blood everywhere, body parts everywhere. Anyone?
From the explosion.
Sorry?
Is it from the explosion?
Yes. The only one that was still alive was Cather, and part of a few of her limbs were missing. Shrapnel wounds everywhere, and this I'd definitely have a skill check here. This would be John. What do you think? This is the one where I held it in my hands. So, yeah.
Right. That's. I mean, yeah, I think an insight check from both of you is probably a good idea.
Yeah. If I actually steal myself for this, which I don't, which is perfect.
Do I even need to make a roll?
No, you don't.
No, not for this. You just see Loria blank and put her hands up like this and just...
Yeah.
Okay, so
and
at that point, I'm going to get up and I'm going to grab her by the shoulders and shake her and say, Laureate, you're here. Come back. And just shake her.
Should you do a check with advantage to see if I break out of it?
Sure.
That's okay, so I'll just do 2. Does a insight? Nope.
She doesn't seem to respond. I don't know, Lori, if you want to say anything, or if you're in the throes of this.
You hear, you just hear Laureate say, I don't know how I'm alive. I'm sorry, Cathal. Sorry.
Yeah, she seems to be talking to whomever she's holding in her arms, or whatever's, yeah. Savoy, what, do you want to do anything else?
Want me to hit her?
Actually, I was about to just.
Well, Mama's solution to everything.
No, well, see, I think Mama would actually hurt her.
She might.
I'd be gentle.
I know.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't hit her.
No.
I'll be gentle. Maybe I shouldn't hit her.
Consider that.
I will basically not like a full-on slap, but not a tap, just kind of a hey.
Okay. A light. If it's a trusted term, a light slap to the cheek, shall we say?
Yes, a light slap to the cheek. Come back.
All right, let's try this again, Laureate. Advantage. You should be able to make it by now, for crying out loud.
I know. Yep, there we go.
There
6.
we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, for a moment, of course, you were back there. She was literally dying in your arms, and you said that, and then you feel a blow on your cheek, and you come out of it, and you're back, and Savoy's right in front of you.
Does not let you go because I don't know if you're gonna fall over or what.
What happened?
You were not here.
I wasn't.
You were there. Perhaps you need to sit down. I kind of guide her to a seat and just sit her down. You spoke to me as if I was her. You don't understand why and how you are alive.
I honestly don't know.
Well, that was my question.
After that happened, I grabbed the crystal, whatever was left of the crystal, and I just ran. I ran the direction of where we came from. And running, I don't even know how long I ran for.
Excuse me.
Yeah. But somehow I got out. Next thing I kind of remember is collapsing at the lifts up to the rest of Adriel, and some soldiers coming by and picking me up, and then I came to in a cell, still wearing the same clothes.
Alright, do you know how long you were unconscious after the explosion?
Probably seconds.
Even though time was, the mist and the forest was doing things to you?
I mean, I have a good sense of time when we were in, but getting out, I had no good sense of time.
You were the closest to the machine, or the experiment,
Yes.
and yet you were only glancingly hurt. The others had limbs missing.
Bring it home.
It's like, have you considered perhaps that something happened that had nothing to do with the explosion? Think about the first person who went missing in your party. Do you think perhaps you might have been holding on to some guilt that maybe you don't deserve?
No. I remember all this clearly. I gave it in all my reports. Like, my interrogations. I don't remember any of it differently. No changes over time or anything like that.
No, I'm not saying that you made anything up. I'm saying that perhaps you were unconscious longer than you thought you were. And something happened in that forest in the mist that had nothing to do with your experiment.
Well,
It's something to think about.
she was alive and in my hands. And I remember
Yes.
that. I remember feeling her die in my hands.
Did she tell you anything?
Just... why? Why am I alive? I knew the experiment was failing. I was able to react quick enough to protect myself.
She had asked you why you were alive.
Yeah. That's all I remember. I don't think she said anything else before passing.
Can I insight check Laureate? Malma's kind of staying a little bit back. She's not getting into the turmoil of emotion, letting Savoy handle it, but I feel like Laureate is holding something back at this point.
Sure.
Oh,
Well, unfortunately, you failed. So, even though you may suspect something, you're not really sure how to go about phrasing it. So, I will. If you still want to try via dialogue, that's up to you. I don't. Characters don't have to be constrained by their die rolls. That's completely up to you how you want to approach this.
You're not picking up any signs of me lying about any of this.
is that kind of questioning something that you would have expected from her at that point? Usually it's when someone is dying, they don't
That's the first person I've ever had die in my arms.
I'm sorry.
I've had people die in my arms before, and that's not quite the way they go usually with those questions. But I mean, different things happen with different people, I suppose.
We were a pretty close bunch. I knew Priven, especially, he really helped me in the academy, and I was really good friends with Weiss. They were all much older than me, but they felt like family to me.
Did you do anything to protect yourself when you felt that the explosion might be imminent, or anything that you remember?
Yeah, I was
Anything?
I have an ability called Stone Skin, which basically protects me from damage. Well, most damage anyway.
There's something that we say among, well, not necessarily smugglers, but among the crews of the sky. It's that we all meet our end eventually, but to have one among you survive to tell your story is one of the greatest blessings you can have. Your survival is not a curse to them, and you certainly shouldn't be embarrassed by it or ashamed or fearful of it.
You have to understand is that the official records of this is that no one has survived the Silverglades.
Ah, so you're dead legally. How exciting.
Not really.
So how are they explaining you?
So
This is a loophole I'd like to know about.
you have to understand, this is 27 years of failure when it comes to the Silverglades. This is a big mark on the higher-ups. The council, the academy, military order. After this fiasco, and me being the only one who survived, a decision was made to essentially just cover up everything. Just say the expedition failed, no other reasoning behind it, and that the Silverglades is going to be illegal to access, cut off from the rest of the populace. No one's allowed in, standard.
Is that what's actually happened?
Sod, make another insight check, please.
Yeah.
As you say that, you get a brief shot of you standing before the Academy Inquisition panel, basically.
Yep. And
the echoing, it's almost like a star chamber. Basically, you're in the center with a beam of light down upon you, with 8 or 10 shadowy figures that you've just gone through like hours of interrogation about the about
on top of
what
the
happened
other hours
in the Silver
of interrogation.
Yes, and then the verdict that comes down for willful and dangerous experimentation, costing the lives of other Academy expedition members. That you are hereby stripped of your rank and any titles that you were to have acquired during your time at the Academy, and hereby banished from Academy. You are kicked out of the Academy. We do not expect you to darken our doors again. Go, Laureate, from these, and do not trouble us anymore. So it's pretty much the banishment was the sentence handed down to you, on you, after.
And everything else was kind of, and all the information is to be suppressed. You're not allowed to tell this to anyone.
Right.
Etc., etc., etc.
Yep. That one's not quite so bad since you made your check, but you just flash back really quickly to that.
It's
scene.
not like a traumatic thing. It's just more like a remembering.
Right.
Memory.
Right. Exactly. Well, it could be fairly traumatic to have your Academy
so.
career cut short, I suppose.
True.
But you're able to kind of control your reaction to it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So
this is a big secret that they wanted to bury then. So how come you're out here? What are you up to? How's it going?
Fine, everyone's fine here. How are you?
Honestly, I don't know. they knew. My time at the academy was interesting. I was considered a prodigy. I was going somewhere, a field of research that no one else has gone to, and I discovered a few interesting things about hearth crystals that no one else knew, and that I think my record at the academy may have had some weight, but honestly, you would have to ask the higher ups, and I don't know any of them. The only one I knew was Priven, and he's now dead. But if you remember our interrogator just moments ago, Reyes, she
Rhea.
Sorry.
She was great.
For the initial interrogations, because the military order were the ones that found me, being the only person who's ever come out of the Silver Glades completely covered in blood, holding a crystal shard, and a few other little bits and pieces. She was the one that interrogated me for a long time before I officially was put before a panel. And
I find it interesting that you were making headway in an academy in a subject, and they would just let you go and deny themselves the knowledge that you were discovering.
Well, if you go to the records now, you'll find that all of my discoveries are under other people's names.
Yes.
I've been completely removed from the history of the academy.
But you're still alive
And not only
and free.
that, you still have a mind and an ability to experiment. I'm wondering.
I know. I've spent every day since then trying to solve this.
Yes, but you're doing it without their official auspice. What do you think's going to happen if you go and solve this mystery for them? Are they going to welcome you back with open arms? Or are they going to say that you were been working for them all along? Are you going to let them? Do you think they spun you up and let you go to see what you would do?
Honestly, I think the Academy will probably just steal my research and publish it themselves under whoever's names they want published it under.
Unless you have a patron, powerful one.
Exactly. I need another drink. I'll be right back. I'll get us some more drinks.
I'm going with Laureate.
Okay. Leaving Savoy alone in the room?
Yeah.
If she wants to look at stuff, she can look at stuff.
She can have a look at things.
And I will.
I'm just going to make sure Laureate comes back.
Yeah, well, that, and also Laureate doesn't get, bonked over the head the moment she walks into there. Not like our change is subtle.
Indeed.
I don't trust anyone.
After this drink, we're going to go back to the house. But
yeah.
I'll give Savoy a look as I'm leaving, like...
Like what?
Like, you look. I'm going over there,
yeah.
and...
I do. I'm going to snoop.
I have no doubt.
Oh yeah.
Saad, did you describe the room when they came in? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
So you got
sure.
so it's the main area of the house. It seems to be like a lounge area, a bit of a dining and study area. There's like a kitchen, and then there's a door at the back where Laurie went to grab her gear that was covered in the blood.
Okay. Right.
So that's all we've done so far. But she can do is it a insight check? Is it, or a focus check to find?
Well, in here, there's a carpet, a fireplace, a bookcase filled with books, 2 storage chests, a couple side tables, chairs for comfort, dining and studying, and a small kitchen in the far right corner. There are also 2 doors at the far end of the room that are currently closed.
Which one did she go into to get the uniform?
Robes?
Yeah.
Sod, which one would that be?
That would be the back room ones, the bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to open that door and peek in.
Inside, there's a well-kept bedroom with a bed, a upright cupboard filled with clothes, and a small side table.
Okay, and I'm suspecting the other door is a bathroom of some kind. So
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the picture, the small daguerreotype, and I want to study it because it's farther along in the adventure or tragedy thing that happened.
Right. Yeah, you're again struck by the amazing detail of this image. It's just incredible, like someone shrank them down and put them inside a box. That's how good it is. So is there anything in particular you wish to look for?
I just find this whole thing so not right. Like, I really think that they're like,
Well,
okay, you're the only one who survived this, but we can't tell anybody, so we're gonna boot you out and make you go investigate on your own.
Yeah, it's sketchy.
It's so
Sketchy as
sketchy.
fuck.
I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it does in the classic sense of we want to see what you do because you survived, but we're not gonna have you do it officially.
Well, I mean, Laureate mentioned that she was interrogated by Rhea
yeah, who I
at the military order,
want to have a conversation with later.
but never said anything about. Oh yeah, okay. You know what? I'm going to leave that alone. You can draw your own inferences from that.
Right.
Is there anything else you wish to do while left alone in Laureate's quarters?
I'm just mostly looking around to see if there's anything that catches my eye in a I don't know, correspondence or.
Okay. Let's see.
It'd be focus or insight either.
Yeah, focus. Yeah, but your choice, Jen. Focus or insight.
Clearly, I'm going to do insight because that's the thing I'm better at. Not that it matters.
Well,
No!
not with that roll.
No, I keep coming back to. I think that Laureate's being set up to go do dirty work or something from somewhere, and I just can't focus on what I don't know.
Yeah, you're just kind of worrying that. You're kind of worrying that sort of that train of thought, and it just really kind of like. Yeah, you're really kind of focused on that so much you're not paying any attention to your surroundings.
Wish I was playing D&D.
That'd be so good in D&D.
Just by the way, people, it is almost the end of the month. It's the last day of the month, so inspirations do count. I should have called that earlier. I don't want to. If someone wanted to inspire Savoy at this point in time, I would certainly let them. But inspirations, any leftover inspirations, do not carry over to the next month. We're about to enter October, so
Remind me what an inspiration is.
it allows you to gain advantage on a roll.
Oh well, no, I rolled so bad.
But it has to be granted by either someone who's at, I think, level 2 or level 1 on the Patreon.
Level 2, $10 level.
Level 2, yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah, you got into that, like this whole scenario sounds just so odd that you're not able to really, like you said, you look into the doors like, this whole thing doesn't make any sense. And you're just sit there. Mama, you go back with Laureate to the bar area?
Yeah, I would. So first thing I'd do is I'll just immediately go to Ali and just say, "Can we get a few more drinks? If you don't mind, Ali."
She
I'll
nods
smile
and heads behind the bar.
Behind.
And I just pour some myself.
Yeah, exactly. And you have the run of the place anyway, so that's true. Let's see here. Who's working?
Ali, sorry. This is Malma. She's one I'm working with currently. One of the ones.
And Arlie is an older woman, probably late 50s, early 60s. Gray hair, lined face. She nods, but it's kind of the evening rush is kind of coming on, so she's like, "Oh, we got to keep, table 6 needs her order." So she gives a polite, if a little curt nod, and just keeps on moving behind the bar to assemble what they're doing. So you hear a male voice in the kitchen in the back, and that's really. And then there's a woman who's in her middle 30s, maybe early 40s, who's also tending the floor. So
and also a young woman, very young. The Valerie will probably be doing it too.
Yeah, for the evening rush, you probably help out until it kind of lightens up later on. So, a teenager, very young, very vivacious, and she's also helping too. So it's the room is 3/4 full. Apparently, the tavern is fairly popular in this area of town. So,
I'll give the drinks to Malma, and I'll say, "Do you mind if you can just take them back, and I'll meet you there in a moment."
Nah, mind waiting. I'll start drinking one of the drinks and hold the other two clutched in my arm.
If you don't mind, it's a personal matter. I've got to...
We're friends. I don't mind, and I'll stay there.
Please, I'm asking nicely. Please. Like, she's really...
I don't mind staying. I don't mind. I get it.
Please. I don't know how Savoy handled you in her place.
She didn't handle me.
Sure.
That's the trick. When Mama decides on something, it's really hard to deter her.
That's true.
All right, so you watch. If you're gonna stay, you're actually gonna stay.
I'm gonna stay and drink and stare.
He's in bodyguard mode. Gloria cannot.
Okay. You'll see Laureate head over to one of the younger helpers, and to Valerie, and you see her talking to Valerie, and you see Valerie. She's quite, very happy talking to Laureate. Do you want to listen in on what they're saying?
Of course I do. You know I do.
Would that be a check? Because it'd be very hard to hear it over all the bar noise.
Yeah, that'd have to be a focus check at a +2 due to the overall noise in the tavern itself. So.
Oh, so not that focused.
No, this drink is really good. So
cheap but good.
But
unable to really make out what they're saying.
I'll keep an eye on her though and make sure that she's not going to make a run for it. And I also want to make sure that nobody's coming for Laureate because she's gotten into trouble before.
Yeah.
It's a fair cop. You're not wrong.
But
exactly.
okay. You would probably see a random person also kind of like stop Laureate and say hi, type of thing, because Laureate is probably known to the people in tavern and regulars.
That's great. I know her
absolutely.
too.
You know
I'll
of her.
say hi.
You don't know her.
Yeah.
I'll just say hi to everyone who's like even near me. It's all good.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So then you'd see out from the kitchen come a younger man, and carrying food out to various patrons, and you see Laureate kind of like head over and say, you'd hear her say Presley, and they'll have a quick chat. Do you want to focus roll?
Try another focus on this one.
I'm moving closer as well.
Okay.
Nope.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
so,
it's a plus without the +2. Yeah. So.
Yeah, this one isn't normal.
Closer.
She's more observing than trying to listen. For example, so you see the young man's face was neutral when he came out, but when he sees Laureate, it kind of turns into a scowl.
Oh.
I don't like him. Okay, I'm
So
gonna.
how
keep
close?
close.
So how close are you trying to get? I guess is the real question there, Mama.
I don't mind making it uncomfortable. I'm perfectly comfortable with it.
Or are you just going? Are you just going close enough to where you actually can hear them without trying too hard?
I'm gonna come close enough to where I can hear them without trying too hard, and also if I need to intervene, I can do so quickly. And I have long legs, so.
Okay, yeah, you're not the shortest person. All right, well, a couple. I mean, where they are, since he was coming out of the kitchen door, it's only a few steps. So even being and there's enough commotion going around here where you can approach relatively easily, without too much attracting too much attention. So
Perfect.
So when you get closer, Laureate is saying what?
So you hear Laureate talking to Presley. Presley, I need to know, in the last few days, has anyone tried to talk to you about me?
Why? I got work to do. I can't be
I just need to
wasting
know.
time with stupid questions.
Has anyone?
Not that I remember. No one's come asking about you. If you're that important, anyways. Look, I got tables to clear, and he brushes. He kind of makes.
Yeah,
the move.
just
Are you
shoves
going to
her
stop
away.
him or let
no,
him go?
I'm not gonna stop.
All right. So you overheard that bit of conversation, Mama.
All right. I'm feeling it.
All right.
So Laureate, what are you doing afterwards?
I'll head back to Ali, and
Okay. It's just kind of shaking her head a little bit. He'll come around, Laureate. It's gonna take time. That's all.
it's nearly.
We all grieve in our own way.
Has Valerie been studying as usual?
Oh yeah, she's doing quite well.
Good. I'm gonna try and maybe next year I'll see if we can see if she can get into the academy.
Well, we'll we'll cross that span when we come to it. Just one day at a time. Is there anything we need to know about your kind of nods at Malma, who's suddenly much closer?
Yes, and trying to listen in because I'm fine while drinking the second drink. I've done one.
Trying to listen casually. Yes, exactly.
She's not casual.
Well, you can put that in quotes all you like.
I'm Malma casual.
Exactly.
Ash drinks the second drink of.
Malma,
I'm
can
on
you?
the second drink.
So I'll grab more drinks. I'm like, Malma, you've already had the drinks we're supposed to give. Give to Savoy. Can you
Not
please?
my fault. You're slow.
One
was
sec,
ready to head
Ali. And I'm actually going to physically kind of like drag her along with the drinks over to.
But before even that brief moment, Arlie already fills another tankard and sets it on the tray. Yeah.
Please, Malma, just could you please just take these drinks and not drink them all into my place?
I can hold them. If we head back
I'm
there now, they'll
I'll
still
be there in a
drink.
moment. I just need to have a private conversation. It's not too hard to ask for that.
Well,
Tell you
apparently
what.
it is.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'm willing to do you a solid. I'm gonna stay in this room and watch you like a hawk. And I won't try to listen in. That's the best I got for you. Your call. Don't try to leave the room because I will follow. Be awkward.
She's doing us you a solid.
It's just
This is Malma's idea of a solid, by the way.
Yeah.
it's a solid.
Well, it's a
Best
problem.
I got. Or I can keep following you and drinking the drinks. I mean, that's your call. I'm drinking the drinks anyways. Let's not fool ourselves.
This sucks. I'm going to actually, quite literally, just kind of nod towards Ali to go into the kitchen instead and leave Mama
Great.
out here.
I love
right.
kitchens. They have food.
And close the door so she can't get in.
Well, the kitchen door is swinging on those kind of hinges that go back and forth, so you can't really lock it per se.
Yeah, I know,
so I'm
but
not
it's
sure
just
how you're
something to
gonna stop
to kind of stress that she can't come in.
that. All right. Well, I assume, Mama, are you paying attention to that or ignoring it completely?
I don't even know that I'd care. I'm sorry, but Gloria, you've just not been good at not being kidnapped or vanishing or like.
Hey, that's unfair. She's better than Everest, okay? I mean, come on.
That's true, but Everest isn't here now, is he?
Can't stick on him.
As far as I know, he's been kidnapped too right now.
Well, you guys are fairly clear that you left him back at the house. You left him back at the Savoy Manor. Veneer Manor, sorry. Yeah. All right, so you try to have a conversation with Arlie, but...
as soon as I see
your
Mama
shadow-
doing that, yeah, I'm just going to be like, Arlie, we'll talk later. I can't do it with her watching.
It's good to meet you, Arlie.
Arlie steps up to Malma and says, Missy, I need you to leave my kitchen right now. Go step outside, have a drink. I'll send Laureate out when we're done. Now go.
I like you. I like you a lot. Tell you what, you make sure she comes back out that door and I'm not going to make a scene. She goes out another door, there's going to be a scene.
She won't be leaving here except out the way she came in. I guarantee it.
Perfect.
Now, off with
I'll
you.
wait for you out there.
Alrighty.
I like her. I like older women, apparently. I respond well to that authority. Some good mother figures in my past.
Apparently, yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, she wasn't like, she was firm, but she wasn't like threatening or anything. Just like, this is how it's going to be. And you're like, yep, okay. So it's all
And
good.
to be fair, it's her kitchen. I respect that.
Yeah.
L'Oreal's
exactly.
got no stake in this place, as far as I'm concerned.
Arlie, shaking her head, turns around. Just gotta know how to talk to those folk.
I'm like in shock. How do you do this? I can't get her to do anything.
Well, who do you think kind of bounces around here? It's not Liddell. He's busy in the kitchen. When there's trouble, it's up to me to handle it.
It's true.
Older women basically give. Oh wait, I can't say that.
Don't give any craps. Yes. Exactly. Their domain is their domain, and woe betide you if you try anything. Your friend looked hungry. Should we send her something to eat?
We'll probably eat in my room. That's all right. Grab something and
Sure.
I'll take it out there.
All right. So what did you need?
So
Gloria?
has there been
You
any?
look tired. You are not sleeping enough.
I've just. Let's start there in a moment. Has there been anything about the chasers? You had any interaction with them? Have any of them come and threaten you or anything like that? I know
Nope.
we had this conversation earlier, but I just want to make sure.
Nothing's changed since you went on that little trip of yours. If they are doing something, they're being very circumspect about it. I ain't
Okay.
seen hiding or hair of them. No one stopped in. No one's made any threats, overt or otherwise.
All right.
Been quiet.
So I'm going to give you the heads up now. I got arrested.
Oh, it's not going to come blowing back on us, is it?
No, it was
What for?
for possession of stolen property. The airship that we used on our job. Let's say it was attacked by pirates, and while our ship that we went on wasn't working anymore, we took their ship instead, and we got arrested for that apparently. Anyway, it's a long story. The military order have asked me to do a job for them. If you
Okay.
remember Rhea?
Yes, the young woman who occasionally pops in here a couple times a year. Well, not so young anymore. What about her?
She's asked me specifically to help find someone. I'll just say it now. Probably best to warn you. Find a killer.
Find a killer.
Someone is going around Adriel, murdering people. Now, I don't want you to be alarmed. It's not happening in this area. It's happening all in Gelspar at the moment.
Yeah,
Right, I don't want-
kind of. So her lips kind of tighten. She doesn't like blanch or anything, but it's like, yeah, but if they find out you're onto them, they come back here. Well, let's just say that won't be too good for business now, will it?
I know. I try and keep us as separate as possible, but I need to give the heads up in case this person has got powerful friends. Because it's gotten desperate that the military order isn't able to do it themselves. They're asking outsiders now, so...
It does seem a little odd, given your relationship to him.
I guess, honestly, I think Ray is pretty much the only one that's thought about asking me. This could be dangerous, and I don't know what will happen.
People are dying, that always makes it dangerous. Don't need you dying either, Laureate.
A bit worse than that, but I just want to give you the heads up that things are going to be a little bit more... I'm going to be out a lot more, and things might be a little bit more tense.
Child, you're already away from here long enough as it is.
If you can keep up the... if you can keep Valerie on the studies, if you can just keep her going through all the books that I've marked, and I'll mark a few more now for her to read and
well, of course,
to work on. That'd be great.
I'll make sure she stays up on it.
But I figured if I can get at least some kind of good relationship with the military order, I may be able to get more work with them, or maybe just have some kind of security, not just for me, but for you as well.
Well, I mean, that security is all well and good, but it can't come at the cost of your life. I mean, I'm not gonna beat around the alleys about that. Having the order on our side could only be a good thing, but not if it puts you in danger, Laureate.
I'm honestly... I know this is not really my field of expertise, but I have to... She asked me specifically, and I couldn't say no, because she took good care of me while I was in that cell.
We're not doing this by yourself, are you?
No, the Mama. She's
God's gonna flick to the door like, okay.
She is a force to be reckoned with. I also have a few others with me, and
all right. Don't need to go chasing down the streets by yourself. That way lies danger or worse.
in fact, we've been a pretty good team, so I've backed with another group again. Hopefully this one doesn't...
This one is making you relive your past.
Exactly.
What painful bit.
Because I've pretty much been on my own. I've pretty much been solo jobbing this entire time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, all I can say is be careful.
I just wanted to give you the heads up. Well, I want
This,
everything between us to be clear.
well, you always have been upfront with us in the past. She nods her head toward the door. This, Malma, is it? And the others, are they aware of your past?
Would you believe this is the reason why we're here? They wanted to know.
Of course I would, child. I mean, it's always good to see you. I wish you were around here more, but it makes sense to a degree.
And I want them to remember... your son more than me.
Well, we all remember our own ways. Let's see. Give me a... I guess this would be a focus roll, Laureate.
Okay. Nope.
Jeez.
Okay. All right, Malma. Let's cut you in the main area. What are you doing once you come back out into the room?
I am not far from the kitchen door, but I am enjoying
Okay.
my drinks while keeping an eye around me to everyone and to make sure that that kitchen door will reopen. But I'm pretty
Notice you said
trusting that
enjoying your drinks. That was good. Yeah.
I don't know why they keep giving me 3, but I'm in.
Besides, she knows I'm just going to hand mine to her after a polite pretend sip.
That is true. That is true.
We got a thing going, Savoy and I. It works.
Yep.
She's currently my stunt liver.
Yes. Hench liver.
Hench liver.
Let's see. So you've had like what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, but they're pretty cheap drinks.
Yeah. Okay.
And we didn't actually drink at my place, so it's been.
That
a
is
while.
true. That is true.
So she hasn't had the rotten gut or the good wine.
Right. Or the fire mead either.
That true.
So yeah. Give me a focus roll, Alma.
I am focused.
Okay.
Not drunk.
Yeah. So as you said, keeping an eye on the kitchen door, but you're also kind of like as you said yourself, you are keeping an eye on others as well. And you start to notice a certain undercurrent among several of the patrons in the kind of dining area. And it seems that some people aren't feeling well. About maybe 25%, maybe 20 to 25% of the patrons who are there right now are not seem to not be feeling well. Stomach upset, maybe indigestion. They're not quite sure. So
Are they in an area together, or are they like separate, spread out?
they're all over the room. It's not one particular area. It's not one table. It's a few of them.
And when they're not feeling well, like they're starting to grab their stomachs, or is it something that seems to be evolving fast?
It's hard to say. Let's see. It'd be more of a knowledge thing. You just don't have the wherewithal to kind of to diagnose this scenario. It seems to be like when you guys came in and Laureate was going around, everyone seemed fine. And that was maybe 10 minutes ago. Now people are dining, and a certain segment of them seem to start to not be feeling well. That's pretty much the information you have right now. Yeah, they're holding their stomach as if it's involving their sort of digestive problem.
I'm going to just sort of casually back towards the kitchen door,
Okay.
and I'm going to knock on it.
All right, on the other side, Laureate, you and Arlie hear, I don't know how loud you're knocking.
Not
like
so
a firm
loud.
rap, basically?
A firm rap, yeah, but not so much to draw everyone's attention, but just enough to draw the attention of the people in there.
All right, Laureate, give me a focus roll, please.
Sod's got a phone call.
Oh, okay. We'll pause here for station ID. You're watching the Skies of Axia Emberwind game with the Ember crew. We are here with Marie Villado, Jennifer Brozek, and Sod. And thank you everyone who's watching. Hope you're enjoying the cast so far. This one is called Secrets of the Past. And one of our characters is telling it's a fairly tragic story, basically. So
That it is. And if
everything okay, Sod?
Yeah, sorry, it was just an important call. I had to quickly answer. I didn't expect it.
So I need you to make a focus roll right now.
Okay, focus roll. Hopefully I was muted for the entire conversation because it was...
Oh yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Okay, good. All right, focus roll. Yeah,
There we
I passed
go.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So while you're talking to Arlie, you hear a knock on the kitchen door.
Oh, go and open it.
Okay, Mama's standing on the other side.
I'm gonna be like kind of leaning against
You
the
do know
door
that
frame.
this isn't a closed door. You could have just peeked over and called my name.
Hey, I'm just being polite here. I'm just standing here and I can't help but notice that a lot of these people seem like they're getting sick out there in the restaurant. So
Really?
yeah, and I'm not.
And
I'm
right
not
as she says that, a patron on the other side of the room pretty much throws up into their dinner plate.
I don't like this, Laureate. We should get Savoy.
I'll head over and have a look.
And by the time, as you're crossing, two other tables
Oh.
have the same problem. And they're like, they look green around the face, they're very ill, holding their stomachs, bent over. They're like, what is going on here? And Arlie's bringing, what's his name from the kitchen out? Hang on, just bringing out Liddell. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to check one of the patrons who has vomited. I'm going to try and use my magic to cure them, at least, see if it helps. So that's
okay.
Rejuvenation, restore. See if that's like a condition or something.
Okay. I would say that would work. Yeah. So they do seem to feel better. At least they're not upchucking anymore. They still look pale and a little flushed, but they do say they feel better. So in that time that you cast, another 2 people, so now you have at least 5 people who seem to have taken ill. And others, the rest of the patrons seem to have stopped eating whatever they're doing and are kind of looking at what is going on. And it's like, and you can see that what is on the table is what is usually a very hearty lentil and mushroom stew, which is a specialty of the tavern.
Oh, mushrooms. Oh, that's bad.
I quickly go around and just use restore on the people who are sick. And
okay, several others have kind of gotten up and say,
I'd literally just be spending my time doing that the entire, running around to the next person, heal, and run to the next person, heal them.
Mama, is there anything you wish to do at this time?
Well, I'm not exactly clear why people are getting sick now, and I'm worried that it's a distraction for something. That Laureate is here, she's brought us back, keeps telling us really bad secrets, and suddenly everyone in the restaurant gets clear. So I'm worried that we're get sick. I'm worried that we're sitting ducks for some kind of attack or ambush or something. Mama is not feeling good about this. So I want to look around at what others are doing, especially the patrons who own the establishment. What are they doing? Do they look like they know they're doing? Are they panicking?
You mean the employees who are working here?
Yeah, and especially anyone who doesn't look sick. Why aren't they sick? What's happening right now? Does anyone look like they know what's going on?
Oh,
all right.
Sorry.
So Arlie's trying to take command, telling everyone to be calm. Give me a focus roll at a +3.
Oh.
Off the 4. Well, it is a lot. There's a lot going on. Yeah, that too. That's just never pleasant either.
Pretty gross.
So, I mean, it would seem fairly, I don't want to say obvious, but fairly clear something maybe in the food those people had. They all look like they have the same kind of bowl in front of them, basically, whereas other people have like a haunch of some kind of meat or, well, some sort of a salad. These people who all got sick are all kind of puking back into the bowls they've been eating from. Let's put it that way.
Ew.
I want to step into the kitchen and just have a gander quickly around.
Okay, yeah, the kitchen right now is kind of abandoned because Liddell's come out to see what's going on and everyone's in the main room. So what do you want to look at here?
Well, I'm guessing if they're all eating from the same bowl, there's a big cauldron or a big pot of something to cook this in. There's a
few of them here. Yeah, exactly. It's a well-appointed kitchen. A large fire that has room for several spits, or right now a cauldron is bubbling over there. That's correct.
And I mean, Malma wouldn't know a whole lot, but I guess she wants to see, is there anybody here? Is there any sign that anybody's fucking with something? Is there anybody in the area?
Other than the employees you've seen so far, there's no one else here.
Okay.
It was Liddell, Arlie, Presley, and Valerie seem to be the only ones who are running the show here.
Okay. So Mama would do is she'd want to step back out in the restaurant and make sure Laureate is immediately okay, and then I want to get Savoy, because I don't think we should be separated.
All right.
Because something weird is going on.
Yeah, Laureate is busy kind of restoring people, so that is helping somewhat. A lot of patrons are kind of asking what's going on, or a lot of them are demanding their checks. Some of them are actually getting up and walking out without even paying at this point. So, but it's a few of them. Most of them are, fairly like this kind of thing happens, but we're gonna take our check and go kind of thing. So you head out over back to Savoy. Savoy, was there anything else you wanted to do? Because this actually took a bit more time than I.
Yeah, I think she would get get another check to look around because she.
It depends on if she wanted to. So.
Well, let's see. It's been what, 10, 15 minutes?
At least, yeah. Longer than you would think would be normal for someone to go get some drinks and come back.
Okay, so probably around the 15-minute mark, I would just peek my head out in the courtyard and see if I hear anything happening. Like, is there a ruckus going on over?
Make me a focus check, please.
Go out and get myself whacked in the head. That'll be good. That would be my luck. Here we go. Focus check, and I make
Look
it.
at you. You're so
Hey,
focused.
there you go. You do hear some kind of noise, but also what sounds like kind of retching coming from the main room, the main tavern area.
Oh, well, that's not
Traveler?
something I want to deal with.
Right. Probably not,
guess
no,
that's-
to be quite
I
honest.
guess that's what this kind of tavern is. Oh, well.
Sod, you're between the tavern and your home. Is it like
it's like a little.
alleyway?
Yeah, it's like a there's an alleyway that's the main, because the tavern's on the corner of an alleyway in like a main street, and then between my building and the tavern there's like a courtyard area and there's like a storage area for the tavern.
Is there another way out of is the only
They can
way
climb
out?
the walls easily.
But there's pretty much no other way out other than through the tavern itself. Like
Through the
every time you
tavern,
want to leave
yeah.
your home, you have to go out through the tavern.
No, I have a door from mine that goes to the alley as well. There's an alley door and then there's a door to the tavern.
Okay. All right. Savoy, you also see a young man coming out of this door and heading. It seems like he's just walking casually, but he's walking towards the gate to the back alley.
Does he look like a scullery kid or what?
No, he looks like kind of your average, everyday kind of middle-class patron who stopped in for a drink, maybe. There's nothing really too.
Oh, he said kid.
Well, young man. I mean, he's in his early 20s. To you, he's a young man.
And I don't recognize him.
Never seen him before in your life. He kind of casts a look over his shoulder and is walking to the gate.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, yeah. He
I don't
looks
need to
around.
know.
No, he looks around and slips through the gate and he's gone.
Okay, then unless something like flagged my attention other than he walked out of the kitchen area.
No, nothing out of the ordinary. He came out of the tavern area and
I mean,
walked to the
it
gate
could
and
have
left.
been either
And
a patron or a worker, whatever.
I just looked like an average everyday patron of the establishment.
Okay, well, unfortunately.
Now, a minute later, Melma comes out, definitely heading in your direction.
I
Quickly,
step out
I
of the
would expect.
door and close it firmly. Is everything all right?
There's something going on in there, and lots of people are getting sick, and I'm a little bit worried about us being here. I think we should grab Laureate and leave, unless you feel like picking up some puke.
Perhaps that is not. Yes. What? Okay. Let's go get Laureate. I'll follow you back in.
Let's go. It's gonna be fun. I hope you're good with puke, because it reminds me of this one time where I flew with all of these young sailors, and
I dig out one of my perfumed cloths and I stick it over my nose and mouth.
and I'm gonna go on and tell you
Yep.
about explosive young sailors
And the decks
winds
were swimming.
in
Yes.
direction.
Yep. And then I took it in a hard right turn and slosh. Yeah, it's an amazing story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just say ankle deep was mentioned several times.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
am laughing because it was
Yeah.
hilarious. But
It
this isn't
probably
funny.
is
'Cause we-
funny, but I'm worried about Laureate and
Yes.
Well, she's telling you as you're going inside, and it's a good thing you do have the kerchief because even through it, the smell is intense.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, the people are demanding to be either compensated or get our check now, and the place is starting to empty out. Is in the middle of empty out. Laureate is actually tending to people.
No,
What do you wish to do?
I can't pull her away while she's doing that, because I've seen her enough to know that if these people are sick, she's going to help them, especially if this is her friend's establishment. So I'm going to leave her to that.
Okay.
I am basically going to stand back and kind of scan the area, specifically looking for, that kid who walked out the back probably had something to do with this.
And you see an older couple who are kind of like near the bar, engaged in a very hurried, frantic conversation about this, or about something urgent. They look like they're proprietors. So he has an apron on, older, iron gray hair, probably around 60, 65, something like that. She's about his age as well, a little bit shorter. Yeah.
So the person who walked out of that area, that's out of the tavern, that's not the usual exit, is it?
I mean, technically, no. You could. I don't think anyone would really stop you, but most people would go out the front door.
Yeah. I'll step to the people who, I'm sure I met the woman.
I don't think so.
No.
Not really.
You briefly saw her as she was working, but you didn't.
Yeah,
say
she
hi.
was working earlier, but Laureate, she was busy, and Laureate did not make really any introductions. So.
But she was working at the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now that that's established, I'm going to step up to them and then tell them. I'd be like, "Excuse me, do people usually?"
She kind of looks at you like, "Look, if you want a refund, we'd be happy to take care of it, but you're gonna have to wait a minute."
Need a refund. I'm telling you, someone walked out your back door, a young man. I thought he perhaps worked there. Here.
Well, people can leave out the back way. It's not really all that. It's not normal, but it's not unusual. So, unless you have something more pressing, I've got bigger matters to attend to, Missy.
Okay.
Turns back to the husband, and you hear, like, I don't know. We got our usual orders. There's nothing unusual about it. I'm not sure what's going on. Mama, anything you wish to do at this point in time?
I want to step out the front of the inn and kind of have a look around there to see if there's any strange activity or anybody coming, or I'm still not sure that this is a coincidence that it's happening when Laureate steps back into the area. So I want to make sure that nobody's coming in to make an attack, take advantage of the moment or something like that.
Okay. Focus roll at +5.
+5. Oh, it's so fail.
No.
So fail.
Other than people brushing by you to get out of the tavern, there does not seem to be anything untoward, anything strange. You don't notice anything on the street or either the alleyway, since it's on a corner of an alleyway, the alleyway or the street going by the tavern. Just people are leaving and muttering about, well, not coming back here again.
I'm going to make myself useful and hold the door open so I can keep an eye outside and keep an eye inside on my friends at the same time.
Okay.
While being door
you are
service.
now the door person. Yes, exactly.
I am the door person. I make a good job of it too. One of the best door people they've ever had.
I'm going to guess that things smell better outside the place.
Well,
Mama
there's
might
that
not.
true. Yeah, that's true.
Mama might not fully notice. I mean, that
No,
ship story has
I'm
brought back
asking,
memory.
do I believe it's going to smell better outside or in?
Well, sure.
Then I'm going to go outside.
Okay.
Because
yeah. Back to Laureate. You have stabilized all of the stricken patrons. What do you wish to do next?
I immediately head over to Ali and Liddell, and I'm like, everyone was eating the usual stew. At least all the sick people were. So, is this just the usual stew as usual? There's no new ingredients, nothing.
Yeah, it's what we've been making for years. I was just talking to Arlie about it, and he's obviously they're both quite upset. I got the usual orders of the mushrooms from our usual vendor. Nothing changed there. I don't know what's going on.
All right.
Unless they gave us a bad batch, in which case it'll be held to pay on their end.
I'll go try some, see if I can feel it.
Are you sure you want to? Arlie says, "Are you sure you want to do that, Laureate? It might be worse than we think."
We'll see. And I grab a small like spoon of it and then taste it, see if I can feel or notice any type of reaction.
All right. Well, the bite tastes. There's nothing out of the ordinary. It's a savory herb, lentil, and mushroom stew. It tastes exactly like it normally does every evening. It's one of the things you guys put on. It's one of your staples, basically. So first bite goes down fine. You wait a minute, and there's no immediate reaction. Do you try some more?
Yeah, I'll try a bit more just to make sure.
Okay, it takes about 3 or 4 bites, and maybe you estimate like 7 or 8 minutes before your stomach starts finally turning and reacting, let's say, poorly to it. Are you going to wait for the whole cycle to go through, or just stop with restore?
Yeah, I'll probably if I feel like I'm about to start vomiting, then I'd restore myself. So
okay, you can tell it's going to get to that point that the nausea is going to, if you let it go, that is what would happen. That is correct.
Yeah. The food, something's off in it.
But it must have been a batch of bad mushrooms. It's not my cooking, that's for sure, Liddell says. Well, no one's saying it is, dear, but it's tainted. The stew's been tainted. We'll have to throw out the whole batch, but we have to. Well, yeah. Anyone who wants it, of course, will take care of that. Go clean the pot down the sewer.
I'm gonna need Wesley.
We're just lucky. We're just lucky it was nothing worse.
Presley here needs help carrying it.
Yeah, and Liddell goes out, looks at the door. To his credit, Presley was starting to clean up the tables that were affected, shall we say. He says, "Presley, come here. Gotta take the cauldron out." So they start doing that. By this time, pretty much the tavern's just about empty. As the commotion and the smell has caused pretty much everyone to leave. Arlen looks around and says, "Well, that night's ruined."
Are you sure?
Are you still in the kitchen, Lauren?
Yeah. I'm like in and out helping clean, and then come in and clean up a bit inside and just help out.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're able to get things tidied up in a few minutes. So while you're busy doing that, Mama and Savoy. So did you say you're going out the front door or the back door?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I went up the front door.
Okay, so you're with Mama.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you're doing outside as Mama's acting as the door person?
Just watching to see the people around.
All right. I'll have you make a focus check at +5.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's 2 natural 20s in a row. Should be playing D&D.
It's the streetlights are pretty out here. That's really about all you notice.
Yep.
That is something. All right. Yeah. Mama's opening the door for people. But like I said, the flow's pretty much stopped now. The tavern is empty.
I'm kind of looking in at this point, and I'm seeing, they're kind of handling it. If they really need the help, I can pitch in. I mean, I've picked up puke before. I prefer not, but I can.
I hope you'd cleaned your ship at some point after that little sailing voyage.
Well, I mostly get the cabin people to do it. I won't lie. Sometimes I get some of the passengers. If I get tourists, I kind of pretend it's part of the experience. Depends on the activity.
Note to self: never take a tour with Mama. Okay. They see. Yes. You won't believe you are in a stormy sea. Yeah. They seem to be handling it quite well. It's maybe not dealt with the volume, but they've certainly dealt with this issue more than once. It's obvious they've got it taken care of. So yeah. So yeah. Arlen's like, well, I guess we'll be closing early tonight. No, not at any point. No one's going to come back till tomorrow. I just worry about what this is going to do for the rest of the week's traffic. We got to get the word out. This is just a one-time thing.
Check with the supplier as well. Make sure.
Liddell says you're darn right. I'll check with our supplier. But we've been using them for years. Never had a problem till now.
Let me know what happens if you need my help.
I will. No. Let's see. Yeah, actually, Valerie pokes her head in to the kitchen. It's like, Arlie. And she holds out a folded piece of scraps of paper and like, this is on the bar. Arlie looks at you, Laurent, and then goes to take it. And she unfolds the paper and reads it. And here her face does pale.
What does it say?
She hands it to you. And it says, "We hope your guests enjoyed the secret ingredient in your stew tonight. As you can tell, we can reach anything we want, anywhere we want, anytime we want." And it's just signed with a simple G.
Oh my god. We're gonna have to kill this guy.
Excuse me a moment. And I'll head out to where Malma and Savoy are.
Mm-hmm.
And just got this note. Grinder poisoned the meals. The entire stew. And I hand him the note.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that guy.
Well, that is one way to put it. Yes, that's true.
Not even a bit.
No one within our circle likes that guy.
Yeah, that's pretty much a given.
Why would he have done that,
He was just waiting. He was just waiting.
Until you came back?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean you need to stay away?
I can't. If I stay away, it's going to get worse for them.
How do you know?
That's how the chases work.
That's a fairly fair assessment, and Savoy, you're aware enough.
Okay.
The chasers are kind of if you don't, it's kind of like the old insurance scam or the protection scam. If you don't play their game, it goes worse on you. Yeah. That you may suffer the exact thing you're supposed to be protected against.
I'm gonna have to go see him tonight.
Well, you're not going alone.
Oh, good gracious.
You just had this conversation earlier. You can come if you want, but I mean, there's a good chance that they'll probably just kill us.
Oh, he won't kill us. We can talk it through. I mean, he's a businessman. I'm a business person. You're weird. I mean, it's gonna work out. Maybe Savoy should do the talking.
What time of day or night is it?
It's full on evening now.
Yeah,
I
sundown
think-
evening.
At this point, we need to go back to my estate and make a plan rather than a reaction. Do you agree?
Sure, but we don't have much time. I do have to meet them tonight.
You have to meet them tonight.
Yes.
Is this something that you agreed to do with them without us?
Grinder's been watching me, and he did say that once I returned to see him immediately. So.
Ah. Well then. I suppose it's a good thing that Alvarez is still at the house, because he'd probably set things on fire. All right, we've got a carriage. Let's.
fire is the cleanser.
Let's actually fire might be useful.
What? Been hanging around Everest too much.
Sometimes you need to burn out an infection. Sometimes. But I still think we need to think a little bit more with our minds than our emotions. So let's take the carriage back to the house and make a plan.
And have supper?
And have supper. And out of character, give a chance for Brahms to be here so he can set shit on fire. So.
Yes.
Let's go back and Laureate, if there's anything else that you left out of your story.
I'll just make sure everything's okay inside and
hey, John, how much money do I have on me? You think?
Well, how much would you normally carry around? Let's put it that way.
I'm a rich noble. I mean,
exactly. I mean, of course, carrying too much invites thievery, but you want to have enough to be able to handle things.
I will slip Laureate, I don't know, 5 or 6 gold. I have no idea. She has no idea what the money situation is out here.
That's a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty decent amount.
She slips it to you and says, "Tell them the Veneer family is supporting them." And it's just very quietly. She just slips you the money and says, "Just give it to them." Or you know that the Veneer family is supporting you.
Oh, we don't. Not really looking for support, but thank you.
Well, Grinder is not just your problem. Now, hurry along so that we can get back to my place and have a real meal.
All right. I'll head inside. Give them the 5 gold.
Okay.
That's for one of my party members, Liddell.
But what's this for? We don't take charity.
I know, but just this once?
Well, we'll help replace the income. It'll replace the income loss, so yeah. All right, this once.
Thanks.
You take care of this and take care of yourself, Laureate.
I'll try.
That's pretty much where Savoy is right now. We're going to take care of this, and we're going to take care of each other. I am starting to get annoyed. Actually annoyed.
Yeah.
So sometimes something may need to burn with fire or magic.
All right, let's go. Ready?
Let's go. Yep. Because family's important, and that has just now crossed a line that I am now annoyed about.
Well, alrighty then. Okay. So yes, you guys are starting to head back through these streets, the quieter streets over here. I mean, it's traffic. It's just traffic, but it's at the same time, it's not a ton. So things are already starting to quiet down here. I need you to move over to.
And I'm already expecting us to be stopped by the chasers at this point.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. I gotta fix something here. Yeah. Step it. Step it.
Moving maps. Moving maps.
Let's see. I don't. Okay, I don't need that. Go away. Hang on. How do you erase? How do you remove a bar? How do you remove a box that you drew? Oh wait, clear. Well, that might work, I guess. Sure you want to delete? Yeah. There we go. Okay, I can remake that one. All right. There we go. Let's try that again. Drink. Okay, now get off of that. There we go. What I want to do is go back to the. There we go. Okay. All right. So as you are heading through the streeties, there we go. Okay. Now everyone move to what is this?
Which map do you want us on?
City 6.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. I can take care of that. There. Yeah,
I've already
exactly. Okay. So as your carriage is coming up from the bottom of the map, as I'm showing right here, you see that red box looks like a cart that is blocking the road. It seems to have broken down.
Oh,
As if a
perfect.
wheel has fallen off. Yeah, exactly. So
I don't
your
know
carriage would be like...
Characters.
Generic token.
There we
There
go.
you
There we go. Yeah, should be larger than that, but you get the idea. There we go. Perfect. Huge! You guys are coming up from there we go, freehand. You're coming up from this direction. There. And that is what you see ahead of you. Of yous.
Blah, blah. There we go. Easy.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're in the carriage, so it's something that you feel it, like, as a matter of fact, the only thing you realize is you feel it slowing, and the driver says, appears to be a cart up ahead blocking the road. My lord.
I can just go check it out, I suppose. Make sure they're okay. Maybe stay on your guard.
Yes. Stay on your guard. You know what this actually is.
Yeah, I'll get out as well. So.
Might as well get it over with.
Yep.
Feeling good after all those drinks.
Yeah, so as you get out, the two people who had been apparently working on the cart straighten up, see you, and start walking down this street over here.
Which street?
This one, right? Nope, I got a dot here. Hang on. There. This one, they start walking off that way.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Hello.
Shadowy figure token.
There we go. All right. And yes, from the other side of the cart steps you know who.
And the grinder?
Of course.
I actually just look at Laureate to see what she decides to do. Did you want to meet with them now? Or...
Oh, so nice of you to come out and agree to meet with my summons here. Before you get any ideas, I'd suggest you look around. And he waves up, and you see that, yes, indeed, on the rooftops, you are surrounded by chasers in general. Yeah.
Let's start
So
counting that.
let's all have a conversation here.
Wow, look at that.
That's all. I just want to chat a bit with you. How was the stew tonight?
Luckily, no one died from it.
Well, of course not. Now, we're not savages. Granted, a different ingredient. People wouldn't have been walking out of there. They would have been carried out of there. Just an example of our reach, shall you say. Chasers have the fingers wherever we want them to be. From Gelspar to Charity's Dawn and higher. There's nowhere we cannot be, laddie. No place we can't get to, boyo. Even the nobles' houses, and he definitely looks at Savoy when he says that. You preening ponsies think you're safe. You ain't. You all need food. You all need water. But we're really only here for Laureate there. She didn't quite listen to my missive. When I say you come visit me as soon as you get back into town, that means immediately. Not going off to your noble friends' houses, not going to have dinner up in the wingspan. You come see me, lassie. Next time, the warning's going to be a lot harsher. When I give you an order, I expect you to obey it. Do you hear me?
I really want to kill this guy right now. I really, really do. How many people are there? Oh, we need
Well, you can count an easy 7 around you. And they all have the high ground.
Well, you got your
Yeah,
air shot
not
back,
great.
didn't you?
That ain't what we're talking about right now.
That
What we're
was
talking
part of the
about is you
agreement.
going dallying around the town. Apparently, you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, here I thought we had a understanding. I thought we had a relationship.
Yeah, the understanding was I was going to get your airship back to you, and
The understanding
Now it
was
is.
you were going to come see me when you came back into the city.
I was arrested. What am I
But
supposed to
here
do?
At Kendrick Maddox's house.
Yes, I was
that
about
ain't
to
me.
see.
You could try to pretty it up with all your words all you want. Fact is, you went to see other people before you went to see old Grinder. Now, I feel that very deeply inside. That's why we had to give you a special ingredient for your stew tonight. Again, if you cross me the next time, it'll be an even worse ingredient. And it might not be at the Traveler. It might be at her house. It might be at Maddox's house. Just never know when this stuff can pop up. Bad batch of mushrooms, well, it's bad news for everyone. Do you understand, Laureate? Because so far, my words don't seem to be sinking in. I'd hate to have to make another example for you. But I will, if that's what it takes to get it through that thick skull of yours. That I mean what I say. When I say you come see me, I mean you come see me. Immediately. No one else.
We are here, and we do like the sound of your voice. So
We're talking to you, Noble. And if you want to keep breathing, I'd suggest you keep a civil tongue in your head. 3 on 8 is bad odds for you. I want to hear it from Laureate. I'm talking to Laureate.
First things first, would you agree that first part of our agreement, your airship returning to you, has been completed?
Pretty fancy footwork on that. But again, ain't the point.
I need you to state it for me now. If you don't think that is, then we have a problem.
We already have a problem, Cully. And apparently you're not getting the meaning.
Are you going back
When
down
I
on
tell
an agreement?
you to come see me back in town immediately, what does that mean to you?
You specifically actually told me to get information, and as soon as I got that information, to get it to you. And I was going to head to you immediately after it, but I got arrested.
Yeah. Information from the military order, you'd think I might be interested in that. Instead, you go gallivanting off to your noble's house, to the Traveler, everywhere but seeing poor old Grinder.
So I had to go
It's
and
like
get
you're doing a
something.
tour and I'm last on your list, boyo. Don't like that. Don't like it at all. Like I said, you hurt me feelings. I had to make an example. The next example will be a lot worse. Maybe that pretty little girl of yours. I'm gonna have to make an example out of her next. I don't think you like that very much, Laureate. I don't think you'd like it at all.
I just put out a hand on the Laureate's back, like her bicep behind her. Just kind of touch it. I don't say anything. I just touch it to kind of be like.
I mean, we could make an example out of the old woman, but there's not much left to her. Probably wouldn't last too long. Younger meat's always the better tasting, don't you agree, Laureate?
Listen, Abby,
Don't cross us on us. Do not cross us.
I just
again.
need to know, let's things one at a time. The airship is now yours. That was part of the agreement. That now has been done, yes? I need to know, I wanted you to say it from your mouth that part of the agreement was completed.
Yeah, the airship is back. Lucky for you.
Alright, so now I'm going to do the next part of the agreement and give you the information. There's a warehouse.
The late information.
Only a few hours late. How bad is that?
Well, why don't you ask the patrons that you're in how bad it was? I'm sure they'd give you a different answer now, wouldn't they?
As soon as I give you this information, our deals are done.
Well, if you'd given it to me when you first got it, it would have been done, lad. But
It'll be done
I'm afraid
now.
there's gonna have to be
yes.
there's gonna have to be a penalty.
They're never
Gonna have to be a penalty on this one. No. Besides, I have to see how good the information is first. The last information wasn't all that great. This one better pay off for us. Otherwise, well, another example will have to be made. So out with it. What do you got?
at the pier, there is a warehouse. Maddox has something very important in there. I don't know what. I didn't get to see it. I just saw it on his papers when I met him. He didn't know I could read upside down.
Okay, at the piers where? You have to be a little more specific. There's a lot of warehouses at the piers.
Did Maddox
He gave you the information.
So I'll relay that.
Right,
I'll say it's like the...
Pier 34,
yeah.
dock, the warehouse C, that kind of... Yeah, he gave you the address. They'll be able to find it.
Yeah, so it's Pier 34, warehouse C. I don't know what's there, but it's definitely important.
Well, we'll have to go have a look now, won't we? And the importance to Maddox and the importance to us may be two different things, but I guess the proof's in the finding. But you can expect to hear from us either way, Laureate, about this. The Chasers don't forget. And besides, there's still the matter of your friend as well. Don't know how you managed to do it. But if you really want to cancel your debt, you'll hand over the magic user. That would square us right up.
What?
Your friend Everett, the foreigner.
Why do you want
hand
him
over to us? All is forgiven.
What purpose would the Chasers have with him?
And now, why do you think that's any of your business?
I can't agree to that.
Well, maybe your noble friend wants to get him out of her house. Maybe the airship captain wants a real ship, and not the dinghy you came back to town with. The offer's open to any of you. That doesn't need to be just her. Bring us the foreigner, and your debts are all cleared with the Chasers.
I think I like the foreigner better than you, but I like the idea of the ship, though. I mean, you're talking a good talk.
Laureate, Mama, you and I will talk about this later.
Listen to the noble. When she can keep a civil tongue in her head, she may be speaking some sense. Well, in that case, our business here is done, so we'll let you get going there. Y'all have a pleasant evening now. Think hard about what was discussed tonight. With that, he turns and starts walking down the street. The rest of the Chasers melt into the night, and you are left alone. But the cart's still there. The road is still blocked.
Mama, can you do something about that cart?
Oh yeah, I got some anger I can spend on it.
Thank you.
All right, so what exactly are you doing with it? I'm curious.
Which way? Yeah, me too. Which way are we trying to go? Like through it, or
yeah, you're trying to like head north. Well, you're trying to head north, just past the cart. That leads to the way to
suplex the cart.
It's just a voice neighbor.
It's a Final Fantasy reference for anyone who doesn't know.
Well, I mean, does the cart still have wheels?
Well, like I said, one wheel actually is off. That's why it was blocking the alleyway, blocking the road. There, it actually is disabled. Yeah.
Oh, but for a bit of gunpowder right now. But for a barrel of gunpowder.
Indeed. Well, you don't have that.
No, I don't. Do I see the two guys down the road who were like messing with it originally?
They are long gone.
They're long gone.
Yep. Yeah. This thing, and the cart, by the way, when you get closer, you see it actually is empty. There's nothing.
Is it? It is. Is it a very, very big cart? Do I get the impression that if I like really put my back into it, I could actually pull it out of the way?
Oh, you could. It would take some effort. You could probably drag it out of the way fairly easily. Yeah, I mean, not fairly easily. It takes some effort, but yeah, you could move it.
Oh, I've got some angst I could burn off right now. It's good for the soul. Sleep better, get a good meal after this. Gonna get it. It's gonna be great. Let's do this.
So I assume you are like just kind of hauling it off to the side, basically.
Yeah, like it, and like I am just pouring my angst into it. car.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, for one person, the cart would be difficult, but she seems to move it relatively easily. So yeah. There you go.
And I was getting worked up for a battle too. Like now I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
So.
I kind of feel like,
Wow.
Yeah.
They had the high ground. I want to, like I said, don't want to go back and plan. I don't want to react. And on a bonus, we don't actually have to go back out tonight. You have to see that.
Indeed.
So,
All right, so she
Yeah.
moves the cart. You guys get back in the carriage. Everything else, you are able to get back to the manor compound without incident.
So, I'm gonna get some food into me before I talk to you, Laureate. But there's gonna be some words. Right now I'm grouchy and I need some food. But don't you dare leave the room either. You should have some meal.
I'm hungry and cranky.
I am. I'm very angry, very cranky. There was an offer of a good ship. I didn't take it, and the chaser ship thing, I'm not super fond of having heard that. So let's just like.
I already explained to you what happened with the kid.
Well, yeah, she did explain last time what was happening. That's
That's
true.
true.
And you know where your ship is, unfortunately, which might not be
I
a
know.
great thing either. Yeah, so it's like,
Mama's just cranky at this point. Laureate seems to still be hiding stuff, and I'm just hungry.
Well, no, the other thing is, with a person like Grinder, he will always move the goalposts. You will always be in debt to him, no matter or not. If you end your relationship, they'll move it. I've seen merchants do this. So we're going to have a discussion about this, and I'm gonna think we're gonna have to go in with fire on this.
Good.
This is a conversation we also need to have with Everest.
We do, because we need to know why they want him, and also I
He
regret
escaped
ever
them.
landing on this.
He embarrassed them. He embarrassed Grinder.
He
He's
embarrasses
talked back to him.
everyone.
Grinder has the ego of. He's losing control of his people from the sounds of it. So he has to be a big man right now. Also, I think that it might interest Mr. Maddox or Lord Maddox that Grinder is threatening him. So I'm going to send a note that way too.
No, you
So-
can't.
That sounds-
No, he knows already.
Oh,
I told him.
he's threatening the household. He already knows.
They know. I made a deal with Maddox to where so make sure there's like no one else around. Just
At this point, we're probably in the sitting room,
Yeah.
and
I want
Yeah, a
not even
tree's
your
been
servants,
delivered,
not even
Mama
your
has
servants.
food.
Like
Yeah,
I have food.
Sending for
I'm
Everest.
eating food.
Yes.
I made an
yes.
agreement with Maddox to
Pretty much.
I
Poison me.
glare.
to what?
to give them bad information. Maddox is going to I don't know exactly what he's planning to do with them by giving them this bad information, but Maddox thought this might help get them off my tail, but not helping.
He should know better than that.
I thought Maddox had my back. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I have to have a chat with him about that.
Maybe he doesn't understand that Grinder is not. Grinder has been embarrassed by multiple people recently. You, Everest. I don't know what else is going on. I don't know who is pulling his strings. But he has now got to prove himself again. And with Everest escaping from him completely, that's why he wants the mage. That's why he wants them. So you're not going to be free until we do something about him. Is there any other agreements you have with him?
Well, we've got a new one now, don't we?
Oh, yeah, we all have the agreement of discussing whether or not we're going to hand over Everest to him, which I look at Everest, clearly we're not going to, but we may be able to use this. And now I wish Tom's was here so much.
If I remember correctly, didn't the chasers... You thought the chasers lured him to get captured anyway. So why do they want him
Yep.
again?
Well, no, they lured him, and then he was captured. He was tortured. He escaped them, and it was all
Pretty much in a
Grinder.
nutshell, yeah.
It seems a bit odd to try and do it again, though.
Yeah, no. Now he has to prove that he has control of the situation by forcing us, who are clearly his enemy, to hand over one of our own to him. It's a power play, and he's losing power, and he's trying to use us to get it back, and we can't let that happen.
Maybe. That's
Maybe.
not what I'm worried about, honestly.
What are you worried about?
All it takes is for one order, and my home is going to be put on fire, so to speak.
That is the same with all of us right now, and he is the Tinder match.
Any problem is he hasn't done it to you directly. I just
Not yet, not that I know of. Maybe he's waiting. They already killed the courier kid who was sent to the house to deliver that message. You are not in this alone. And none of us are now safe until we deal with this. And the entire time, we also have Lord Maddox, Lady Makia, and half a Gelspard watching us.
This is why I don't usually stay in one place so long.
Well, I would be leaving too. However, we have a ball to attend in 3 days.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Do you think Oh, well, maybe there are advantages to staying in one place longer. But do you
Almost
think
like a new dress?
I'm so in for that, you know it. But do you think we can deal with Grinder, or should deal with Grinder beforehand? I mean, a ball seems like a pretty good target if you're trying to make noise.
Well, it is an interesting thought.
I have an
If-
idea.
Yes.
I'd have to speak with Admiral Rhea somehow, if I can get in contact with her.
Well, I can be suitably pissed off still about the arrest and demand to go have a conversation with her, and you could come with me.
Ooh, can I come too? She was great.
Well, of course you could come with me. You're my bodyguard.
Wonderful. That's great. That's true. Hey, how much are you paying me again? We talked about that.
I was wondering when you were going to remember that.
I think the drink and the food, and you have
The dress?
the dress, the windlass, the yep,
Incidentals. By the way, is there dessert?
dessert.
So I'm still a little bit hungry. Thanks.
We'll work on it.
Perhaps we
Thank you.
Perhaps we can give pressure on Grinder with the military order.
Perhaps.
Possible crackdown on chaser activity.
Yes,
It's
We're
something
not,
that would
but
have to
then-
go through Admiral Rhea.
it would, but it was, as far as we know, they maybe it's something we'll have to bring up to her. But I need to think about this, and I think we all, Laureate, you need to think about this as well.
We have to keep in mind too that no matter what activity or steps we take next, we're probably going to be watched.
Oh, of course we're going to be watched.
So let's be smart about what we do next. Like dessert.
Dessert is always smart. The wisdom of Malma.
I ring the bell. I get someone like, could you bring a dessert cart? I just said cart.
It's actually waiting outside. And
Oh,
they wheel it in with a choice of 3 different. There's like a tort. There's a trifle. There is a pudding. Yeah, you have a choice of like 3 or 4 different ones. So
It's like they're starting to know me here.
It's my lady. If there's anything else,
This is great. I'll take a spoon.
Is Lady Shannon still up, or did she go to bed?
Well, I don't believe it's that late. Did you wish to speak to her? I can see if she's available. Yeah, it's not that terribly late. She'd probably
Yes,
still be up now.
if she is not busy, I think I need.
I'm sure she would not be busy for you or her sister. Do you care to accompany me, or shall I just go and see and bring you word?
Bring me word.
Very well.
Please.
Takes off.
Mostly
Mama
because
digs in.
we're gonna have to.
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna have this conversation. I'm probably gonna have to have it in front of you guys because Laureate's family, adopted family, just got attacked, and the same person just threatened this household. So, Lady Shannon is gonna want to know some details. And frankly, if I have this conversation in front of other people, she won't yell at me as much. I think maybe.
You
do what you gotta do.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll skip all the necessary back and forth and have Lady Shannon show up at your sitting room.
Yes.
Yes, Savoy, my servant indicated you wish to speak.
Please come in.
Greetings to both of you, Laureate, Malma. See, you're enjoying our chef's creations. Would you like some more?
Please, you're so lovely. Thank you. Oh, and could I borrow a dress for the ball?
Don't ask her those questions.
George's back. Talks to someone outside the door.
I love that you asked this and like while he's talking, somebody's like, please don't ask this, please, out loud as well to try and distract.
She kind of clears her throat and says, well, "May I ask what happened to the previous dress that we loaned you?"
Oh. Wow, this dessert is super good. Thank you so much.
Savoy, are you gonna save your bodyguard or just kind of let her twist in the wind for a bit?
Mama, just it's we'll deal with that stuff later. We have some other.
Shannon looks kind of quite puzzled now.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should move on to the heart of what you brought me here for.
Say I have her sit down and.
Yes, yeah, that might be a good idea.
I'm like, or do you want something stronger? You might need something stronger.
I think wine might be in order.
That's a lovely idea.
Wine for everyone, yes. Actually, after hearing that reaction from Mama, it's like, maybe we should move to the brandy.
Let's
My kind of woman.
And then after, we'll go to the brandy.
I think I'll have the brandy now.
Okay, well. I will keep the glass of wine and I'll give her.
Mom, I assume you're joining me?
Oh yeah, I am in.
Says with an odd kind of, it's a strange sort of almost like sisters in arms familiarity.
Yeah. Try to fist bump her. Is she into it?
Not quite.
Oh, pulling it back.
But yeah, she kind of looks askance at that. More dessert is brought in along with, well, you have a bar, you have a dry bar here, so it's not a problem.
I do.
She will go and pour herself a drink. She will also pour Mama a glass. There you go. Sit back down, take a healthy slug, and say, "Pray tell, why am I summoned here in the evening?"
I would not normally do this and have this kind of conversation with my companions here. However, this is a matter of family. And the fact that the people that we have been dealing with have decided to start targeting families.
Which people are these? You deal with so many now, it's hard to keep track.
This one is in particular, it's Grinder of the Chasers, who apparently has...
The street gang.
Yes, who apparently has contacts in high places, including Lady Makia's home, our home, and other homes. And he has directly threatened this household.
How so?
Well, as he put it, every house needs food and water delivered. Earlier this evening, he poisoned. He had Laureate's family's tavern. One of the dishes was poisoned.
I see.
And I wanted to let you know, and I wanted you to let your most trusted know. Because this is becoming... We're dealing with a little man with a big ego, and his ego has been hurt.
Well, there are plenty of those type in Adriel. However, most will not stoop to physical injury to make their point.
Oh, well, no, this one does. This is the one that hurt Alvarez.
That one.
Yes. We're going to have to deal with him, probably on a permanent basis, but I don't exactly know when.
And I'm a little curious as to how you expect to do that.
I don't know.
Savoy, we make furniture. We do not go out dispatching vendettas. We are the Veneer family.
The Veneer family
not
doesn't
sell swords, running around killing people.
No, but we're loyal to Adria. And I have been involved in some of them.
Of course.
Asked of me by the Order and by the Council.
Oh, the Order. Now that actually makes the first bit of sense I've heard from you this evening. This is a matter for the Order, not for you, my dear.
Oh, no, the Order has asked me to assist.
To assist in tracking down a vicious criminal in Adriel.
Who is connected to someone on the council who is threatening the sovereignty of the city. It is complex.
And hazardous to our bottom line and our family. You are putting all of us at risk here. I mean, look, I can't stop you from doing it, but now you're getting a sense of what the consequences might be.
Well, at this point,
it is very dangerous.
If I stop, they will attack.
And if you push it further, they will attack even worse. I'm just concerned about this non-plan you seem to have.
I'm working on this. But I wanted to let you know so that you could rein in the household as needed.
Well, I will certainly pass on the information. But it seems to me perhaps you're looking at this from the wrong direction.
Oh, I am all ears.
Well, I mean, and I, granted, take another slug of brandy. Granted, this is just coming to me. I need to think this through a little bit more. However, it is certain that these chasers, these thugs, street thugs, well, I'm sure they have a price. Every person does in Adriel. The key is to find out what that is.
Well, right now, we turn over Avarice completely. Let them
that is a bit high.
Yes, but that is currently the price. And over.
I was thinking something more of a goods scenario, not an actual person.
He's already had his ship returned to him, and I have watched him move the debt ratio while we stand there. He takes offense when there is none, and he turns everything to his advantage. Very much like a merchant who is losing control of his business, or is trying to not lose control of his business.
Or who just seeks to squeeze every last bit out of you before dispatching you into the Azure.
So one of the things, we are going to go have the conversation with Admiral Reyes again. I need to be suitably consulted by her.
And perhaps she can assist with this matter as well. In some way. I don't know how.
We haven't figured that out yet, but perhaps she will. But that is what is happening right now in this vicinity.
All right. Well, I think I would suggest that perhaps we all sleep on it, and perhaps the situation will look a little less tenuous in the morning.
Perhaps.
I do
but
thank you for letting me know so I can pass the word this evening in case the chasers decide to follow up more swiftly than we expect. I will
yes, and
notify our
there's
captain of the
also
guard.
the possibility that they may try something at the ball to prove a point to someone. I don't know who at this point.
Oh, that would be ill-considered at best. Or playing out a hand like that in front of most of the nobles who will be in attendance would be very, very dangerous. It will, unless they really feel that flexing their power is in their best interest, but I can't see that happening. It would probably most likely be something more subtle. However, we should be on our guard.
Poisoning the entire wine of the party.
They would risk their patron being involved too, unless they stayed away, which is highly unlikely. From what I understand, this will be the event of the season. Everyone will be in attendance.
Oof. Good
They
target.
wouldn't risk having their meal ticket on the Celestial Court cut off. It would be way far too dangerous.
Unless they had found a different patron.
Perhaps.
We'll see.
This little arrangement you have is getting worse and worse all the time. And I fear worse things are on the horizon. We can ill afford to be involved in some sort of on-running skirmish with these street rats. It's bad for business.
I agree.
If they start hitting our shipments, people will start losing faith in the Vanir name. They start doing that, and pretty soon we'll be no longer a merchant house in Adriel. So approach this with care. Every move you make has ripples beyond your intended consequences.
I have heard the way to make someone trust you is to ask them a favor. Perhaps there's someone I should ask a favor of.
Ooh, and on that note, I think that's where we'll stop the session for this evening. That seems like the perfect place to stop. All right. Very nicely done, everyone. Excellent role playing by all. This was an excellent session. I really enjoyed all parts of it. This was terrific. So
I felt so bad for Laureate. But
Yeah, poor Laureate.
I still think she didn't do half of what she thinks she did.
Yeah.
The problem is she's not even sure what exactly happened back
Yeah,
then.
exactly. That's the whole point. That's why I pointed that out.
There's some self-loathing going on in that heart, that's for sure.
Oh my
Well,
God.
There's so much more.
Yes. The episode was aptly
So many
named
rolls were
Secrets,
failed. It would have been so good.
Secrets of the Past. Very aptly named. I chose that on a whim, but it turned out to be very, very, very apt for the session tonight. So,
If I hadn't failed what roll?
well,
so,
there were a lot of
so
rolls that
many
were
people
failed.
failed rolls that could have gotten a lot more information.
Yeah, that would have helped a lot. That's true. Alas,
Alas,
part of
I
the right
played
department.
That's why it
Yeah.
took me a while to say things, because I had to figure out the best way to do it without revealing too much, because I gave John like everything. So
Yeah, I know the whole
Right.
spiel. Yeah,
he
exactly.
knows the whole story.
Exactly.
Well,
So
I do remember a certain lady Makia telling me that if I ever needed anything, I should come talk to her.
indeed. We'll see where that goes. So
Ooh.
visits aplenty next time.
And somebody else asked me to
have-
get close to her, so fuck. I
Two
guess I'm
birds with
gonna
one stone. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, Ember Crew, this has been terrific. And stream, I hope you enjoyed our excellent players getting themselves in deeper while trying to extricate themselves from other things. Marie, what did you think of tonight's session?
I enjoyed it. It was fun getting to go around, and everybody had a moment to shine as well, which was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And we really didn't know what was happening at all. Like it was very mysterious the whole way through, and there was always this feeling that something was present, but nothing that we could see or stop. So I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed the way you guys kind of leaned into that. Yeah, there were things transpiring all around you. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It would have been nice to make a couple more of those rolls. Would have been helpful, but oh well. That's the way the game is played. Who are you? Where can people find you? What do you do?
I'm Marie Bilodeau. I am an author and professional storyteller. I have a story out right now in the current issue of Analog Science Fiction and Fact. It is called Molecular Rage, and it's road rage with teleporters, and it has ant people in it. So check it out. Yay! I will be at CanCon, Ottawa Science Fiction Convention on October the 18th to the 20th. Arv will also be there. We're going to party. We're going to be on the panel together. In fact,
There you
I am the
go.
co-chair
Yes.
of the organization, so I can tell programming what I'd like to be on, who I'd like to be on panels with. I have selected you, Arv, you lucky person.
He is a chosen one. Yes, indeed.
He
That
is, poor
should
man.
be enlightening and entertaining at the same time. I'm sure it's gonna be a good time. Absolutely.
It should be. And also on October 27th, the Sunday, anyways, of the next weekend, I will be doing a storytelling show in Ottawa, Ontario, at the Peony's House, which is a nice historic location, very creepy. Electric lights will be turned off. There will be some lanterns, and I will be telling an hour and a half of scary, haunted stories in front of a grand staircase lit with only a few candles. So if you can make it out to that,
Ooh.
come out. It's limited admission. It always does sell out every Halloween. It's become kind of a ritual every year. We do it there. So
Do you have the
get your
gaslight lantern so it has that little humming noise in the background while you're telling this story just to kind of twist everyone's sensory?
Set the mood.
Sometimes depends
Oh,
what they
man.
do, but sometimes I do.
Hopefully there will be pictures taken and you will show. I cannot, unfortunately, we can't get up to Canada, so hopefully there will be pictures taken. I would love to see what that looks like. That sounds fantastic.
We will try, but it's very scary.
Well, yes, of course. That's very creepy. Well, wonderful to have you, Mama. Of course, a delight as always as she eats and I don't want to say, but it's not. It doesn't. She doesn't blunder. It stomps her way through things. I guess is the best way to put it. She's just always there, but it's always a delight. So, Jen, what did you think of this session? Very, very interesting things as
I
suck
enjoyed
deeper and
it.
deeper into things.
I enjoyed it. We're like in the middle of a spider web where everything is connected and you're plucking one thing and everything else is just going. And at this point, I honestly think Grinder is probably the least of our worries. And if we just kill him, we can deal with the other stuff that's all happening. But
maybe that is a possibility. That's a possibility.
I would like him dead at this point. My character is just like,
you and Everest. You and Everest. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Tell the fine folks who you are, what you do, where people can find you.
I'm Jennifer Brozak. I'm an author and editor and tie-in writer. I'm a podcaster. My most recent Shadowrun podcast, Shadow Bites Literal Milk Run, which is the whole play that the heist is so easy. It's like shopping for milk. That is what this episode is about. I wrote a story about the Red Market with John Helfers, and it is live right now. Called Written in Red on the Emberwind site. I also have recently released a Battletech book called Iron Dawn and a Shadowrun novel called Makeda Red. Otherwise, find me online, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you like my cats, Instagram.
There you go. Thank you so much. Having Savoy here as the exasperated mom of everyone is always a delight.
Oh my God.
Good times, and of course, last but certainly not least, Sod, my intrepid IT person, and also Laureate, really kind of opening up to the group in a big way.
That's interesting. It was hard. That was hard role playing for me. Really, really hard.
You did a masterful job.
I tried my best.
I had to throw you on your toes with the flashbacks. Like, how can I mess them? Oh, flashbacks.
Yeah,
Perfect.
good old flashbacks. Yes. That messes with everyone who's got.
But I was really impressed with your role playing and how you pulled this off. And it wasn't that I was trying.
I'm so annoyed that people didn't get the roles though.
I know. I was like,
so much I could have told. Mom.
I rolled 2 natural 20s in a row.
I know.
You did great. You did great.
It's funny because everyone got the good rolls where there's little information, but then the ones where there's lots of hidden information.
Yeah.
Got the bad
rolls. With the major things. Well, then hopefully there'll be another time or something. We'll figure it out. But now I think the group
But it's interesting because
Laureate's...
this is as Laureate said earlier. Like she's been ever since then. She's really just run her own thing, and she's never really had a group to be with.
Right.
This is her
Right.
first like actual group that's so.
And of course, immediately you're putting them into peril. So
yeah, and it's
good job.
already everything is just bad with her again. So lovely. It's like she's cursed.
It's maybe starting to think that way, but with good friends, hopefully you can pull through this danger and onto the other side. So I want to tell people who you are.
So I hope
where
that
to
helps
find you, what you
people
do.
understand why she's like secretly meeting with people and has contacts to try and do things herself rather than through.
Yep, until
other
that gets you
people.
into too much trouble.
And of course, that got me into trouble anyway, because Laureate is just unlucky, I guess.
Yeah, lucky
So
druid,
yeah, we'll
exactly.
see. Sod underscore on Twitch, stream there occasionally. Since I spent so much time here on Arb's channel, I'm pretty much like the second person on this channel. Let's see. So we have IAB on the 12th. And then I got Emberwind here again, then Woolin, Hearts of Woolin on the 21st, and then IAB, and then number Emberwind. It's just everything. I hope everything's on this channel. So just come here once or twice a week, and you'll see me here. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much. If it's not Arv, it's Sod, and sometimes it's both. There you go.
And both.
Yes, exactly. Well, always
That
a pleasure. Really, really good stuff tonight. It was great that Laureate finally kind of opened up and told the whole story. I really wish Everest had been here. Alas, he's not able to make it, but he's in our hearts. He'll hopefully be back shortly. I am Radio Johnny Panda, John Helfers. You can also find me here for IAW with the Curse of Strahd and running with the fabulous Ember crew. I think we're gonna head outside. You're gonna do a raid, but I'm gonna leave folks with this wisdom from Malma, and that is that dessert is always smart. So, folks who came in could get a little love for the Ember crew. Thank you so much, folks. And until next time.
Bye,
We will see you.
everybody.
Bye.
Take care, folks. Bye bye.
See ya.